Hello, hello. Hey everyone. Hoping you can hear me. How you doing on this fine it's Tuesday, right? I don't even know what day of the week it is anymore. I swear to God, y'all. I am sweating my tail off. I don't know if it's hot as uh for y'all as it is here. It is 10 a.m. my time, and it says it already feels like 114 degrees. So I've been outside totally cutting it close on time like I always do, get caught up with all the animals. I was outside taking care of the rabbits to make sure that they had all their ice and everything for a couple hours while I'm in here. And I came inside, I cannot stop sweating. Like, I have the AC blasting on me now. So in about 5 minutes, I'll probably be complaining about how I'm freezing. But for now, how's everybody doing? Hey, Rabbit. Hey, Goose. Hey, Gingerly. Who else do we have in here? Christine. Mousy Files, good to see you. Gravy. Michelle. I'm going to try to read y'all's comments real quick. I'm a journalist. I'm protected. Y'all are going to see something pretty funny. I think it's funny, but, only if you're following all this. Hey, Janie. I said hi to Rabbit. Hey, Pink Moments. Yeah. Let's this clown. Good to see you. If I missed you, I'm sorry. It's not because I'm ignoring you. It's because as I roll. Goose, did I say hi to you? Goose, we got to see your name in green, my friend. When the first rolls around, I'll be giving out more memberships again. Hey, Cheryl. Ruth Carroll, how are you doing? Hey, Sean. So, good to see everybody. Good to see everybody. Again, if I didn't say hi, it's not because I don't care about you. It's because that's how my brain works. Hey, Blake. Good to see you. That's all right if you can't be in here long. I appreciate you stopping in. So what we'll do is we'll kind of do. Somebody left a comment yesterday and said, "I just need the cliff notes because I hate Katie Joy," and I'm like, yes, because in all reality, when it comes down to all these filings and stuff, some of them just aren't needed to be read verbatim. Like, I'm never going to put y'all through that unless, like, in a video, I'll always put, if it's a filing that's really important, I'll summarize it as I'm going through it, and I'll read the points that I feel need to be read. But there's going to be other people that think something else in that document might be more important. So I'll always include it, but I'm never going to read it verbatim. And this answer really isn't, hey, Triple Threat, good morning to you. This answer isn't a huge deal, right? But we're just going to kind of go through all that in a second and go through all of the, just do cliff notes on it for the best part of it. Just go through the cliff notes, because when she was sued in April of 2022, she had to file an answer. And I know, Rabbit. I know it's frustrating because it's moving so slow, but in some ways it's good that it's moved so slow, because look where she's at now. Like, I keep saying this, like, if she would have gone to trial with these 87 statements, now keep in mind, there are 212 now. But she still has the right to argue those. So are all 212 of those going to go to the jury, or any of those going to be dismissed? We don't know. But as of now, the amended complaint with those 212 statements is the new complaint. Like, it superseded the old, right? So if she would have gone to trial on the original 87 statements, keep in mind, some of those had been dismissed in prior rulings, and it wouldn't have been as strong of a case. After the things that she said, particularly after the raid happened, and he has not been indicted, y'all, it's so bad. So yeah, it's frustrating as hell. But look, all of us have come together in 4 years. So, some of y'all were here way before I was. I picked some of y'all up along the way. Y'all came with me. We've come from other creators. I know Rabbit used to really cover Katie Joy a lot. There's a lot of creators that kind of stopped covering her, and I get it. I've wanted to stop covering her. I don't talk about her really on anything else other than this lawsuit. And I promise y'all, I'm only doing it for y'all. I've said it to people behind the scenes a lot. Like, I would just end it now because I don't like talking about her. So I see why people stop talking about her. For your mental health, if you're following her and you're having to watch all of her statements and listen to all the things she says on a regular basis to try to relay that to people, it's a lot. Hey, Susie. KJ is cooked. Hey, Gigi. Oh, yeah. Yes, Gigi. She is still making the I'm a respected journalist plea. Wait till you hear this one. It's even more. It's even more grandiose. And of course it makes sense, kind of, whatever. And we'll go through that. I'm going to give y'all kind of the cliff notes because of what's different between when she filed her answer in 2022 versus when she filed it just now. Also, keep in mind in 2022, when she went to file her answer, she didn't think this lawsuit was going anywhere. Here we are over 4 years later, and it's not only is it going strong, it's headed to trial, and it's worse for her. Hey, Sunshine, how are you? Good to see you. You made it. You made a live stream. I usually see you say, "Oh, I missed it." She's being slow cooked. That's the best way to put it, Ruth Carroll. She's being slow cooked. I might have to do a meme on that one. Of course, I'll forget by the time I end this live that I said that. But hey, it's a good idea, right? You've been watching it since Toddy. Yeah, I think a lot of you OGs in here have, and people like Suzanne who've been around who knew of Katie Joy before any of us really did because she worked with her at Pathios. Crockpot. The jury's gonna. I agree. I think the jury's gonna dislike her. She needs to have some type of coaching before then, but she doesn't do well with that kind of stuff. She's not going to take anybody's advice. Oh, you're going to put it on your live TV. Good thing I'm not like showing my face. I'm sweating my ass off, y'all. It is so hot. Crackpot. Yeah, it's so hot. Like yesterday, I forget if it was yesterday, the day before, they're all kind of melting together literally. But yesterday I was like, I haven't taken my walk, and it was like 3 p.m. and it said it felt like 125 degrees out. And so and there was not a cloud in the sky, and I was like, I'm doing it. So I got to like mile 3, and I was like, what am I doing? I mean, I had plenty of water, and there's shade that I walked through on occasion, and we had a good breeze for the most of it. It didn't affect me till about when I got to my 3rd mile, and I went, this is stupid. So I did like 3.5 miles. But it's weird because it doesn't really affect me that much when I'm doing that. But if I walk outside and back inside, I'm sweating, I'm acting like the world's dying. And I'm not even doing anything. She's not a sympathetic character, Gigi. Hey, Jill, how are you? Ruth Carroll asks, what continent are you on, Rabbit? Hey, Safari Scarlet. The jury might notice that when she looks right, she is lying. They're going to see a lot of eye fidgeting, and you know how they say that. Of course, most of the stuff I watch is criminal trials, right? But nonetheless, I mean, you want to engage with the jury, and if you can't look at them directly, you're in Africa. Heading to Europe soon with the kids. Rabbit, I'm so jelly. All the traveling. I mean, I know it's difficult, I'm sure, being away from your homeland, so to speak, but I'm guessing you're getting a lot of culture and experiences, so good for you. So cliff notes on this case. Let's keep in mind, whenever Katie Joy filed her answer in 2022, she was sued, and Blake, your little, what is it called? Not your emoji. What do you call it? Your little circle there. You changed your picture on it, and it looks like somebody else's. And so when I keep looking at it, I keep thinking they're in chat. It's so funny. I like it, Blake. What is that called? What is it called? Your profile? Your profile picture, your anyways, if this is how my life is going to go, I might as well just shut it down. But those of you that are here with me, you know how my brain operates. So slow cooked Texas barbecue. That's right. That's right. Avatar. Thank y'all. Yes. Yep. Yep. Okay. So when she was sued in April 2022, she didn't think it was going to go anywhere, and she said she made all, as we know, all those statements about, you know, the frivolous lawsuit's not going to go anywhere, yada yada. Let me know if my sound is bad too. If any of y'all don't mind telling me if anything happens, or if it's too loud or too muzzled or whatever, muffled, whatever the word is. Hey, Sunny D. Listening as always. Question: there are denied statements, and they're generally denied them. Yeah, there's a lot. We'll see. We're going to kind of go through this again. I'm going to. Okay, it's good. All right. So when she was sued in 2022, she didn't think it's going to go anywhere. We know this. She kept saying it's frivolous, blah, blah, blah. We've seen her over the years say, I won, and to only still for it to be heading to trial. Not only is it heading into trial, now it's going to be more difficult for her because she kept talking. Not only did she keep talking, she kept saying more things as fact. Like, you know, Robert Shen is in fact running a sex trafficking ring, that he's trafficking Miranda, that he's got these invisible people that he's trafficking because he's they're on illegal green cards, you know, all these things. But none of that has been proven, and he's been under investigation. Now, we still have technically until July 6th. That's right around the corner. But once July 6th happens and we don't see another filing for another stipulated agreement for them to extend it past July 6th, then we're going to know, right, for a fact that it's really not going to go in Katie Joy's favor. It's not good that she's dragging out because she still made millions and kept her channel. That does suck that she makes money off of hurting people. A lot of it is going to go back into this lawsuit. Look, she's talked about how she spent over, I think it was recently, like maybe the end of the year, like after it was after the raid, which was July of 2025. And I think it was around the time that the notice of forfeiture came out, which was in October of last year. She started talking about how she's already spent $200,000 on this case. If she's already spent $200,000 on this case, all these motions that are about to be filed, all the time it's going to take for these motions to be filed, then preparing for trial, and then the time during trial. Yeah. That $200,000 is nothing. I mean, it's a lot. You know what I'm saying, in comparison. You're traveling for the summer, Rabbit? Oh my gosh, have fun. Your kids have camps in different countries. I hope they have the best summer ever, Rabbit. I hope you do too. July 6th is the countdown. That's right, Rabbit. Yeah, right. Tag the Chrisleys. I think it's absurd it's going this long, but it's going to make her fall even harder. Oh, you tagged Christy. I thought you tagged Chrisley. I was like, yeah, let's bring Todd Chrisley back into this. You know, honestly, I do think that's still going to happen as well. I think they've got a lot going on. I think he's all about strategic timing. We can all just hope that he is. And if it doesn't, then it doesn't. But, you know, karma comes when karma chooses to come, right? It's not at our discretion, unfortunately. Hey, Sherry, good morning. It's okay that you're late. I'm just kind of chatting. So when she filed, when she was sued in 2022, she was supposed to file her answer within so many weeks, right? And comes August, there's still no answer. And she's filing her motion for contempt saying, you know, that they're not providing X, Y, and Z, but she still hasn't provided her answer. So then comes November and 7M files 4 motions that they were all ruled upon in February of 2023, right? But they filed 4 motions. One of them was a default judgment because Katie Joy had not responded. She had not filed her answer yet. And here we were, you know, October. Now the judge did not grant that default judgment. Keep in mind that was a separate judge than's on the judge. That's the judge on the case now. Because that judge, I don't know if they retired or what, but there was change in structure, whatever it was. That was in the spring of 2023. Then this judge came on. All right. So the other judge denied the default judgment and said, no, they did not grant default judgment, saying, look, obviously, Kate, yeah, she hasn't filed her answer, but the parties have been in communication. So it's not like she just ran and did not. She's not evading this. I mean, she's communicating. She acknowledges it. She's filing motions. Why they weren't harder on her, I don't know. But if we remember, there were discrepancies in the reasons why the answer wasn't filed. Graham Martin was her attorney, the active attorney then, who was filing the filings, and he said some contradictory things. But anyways, that's in the past. Let's focus on the future, right? In the present. Hey, Janie. So it took her a long time to file that motion. This one, she ain't playing around. So the tone of it itself goes to show that she seems a wee bit nervous about this, y'all. A little bit nervous about this. And as she should be. So when I compare the original answer that she filed way late in 2022 versus what she just filed, it just showed up yesterday, there are some differences, and I'm just going to give you all the cliff notes. Okay. I'm going to pull up the document and we'll go over it briefly. Just the things that are different, right? What's different from her original answer to this one. So I'm going to give you the kind of the cliff notes off the top of my head, and then we'll look through that. And then depending on what time it is, we'll go through more of the statements, right? We got to what, number 7? What did we get to last time? We got through number 70 last time. So we'll start at 71 today. Now, if y'all noticed, I don't know if y'all saw, I put a video out yesterday. So what I'm also going to do is I'm going to do about 50 statements at a time in a video. And I'll do the introduction explaining it, and then I'm going to do the 50 statements. They're going to be mixed between, the posts that she did. So it's just going to be, text mixed in with her live streams or her YouTube videos. Whatever order 7M presented it, which is going to be by the date, that corresponding number for what's in the amended complaint is going to be the corresponding number that's shown in the video. And I did 1 through 50. I put that out yesterday. And what we have to keep in mind is once we get past the statement she made in 2022, because she was sued in April of 2022, she didn't make many statements. She did make statements after that, but once we get into like 2024 is when her statements really get bad. In my opinion, they get worse, right? Because that's when the docuseries came out. So her whole goal right now, and rightfully so, it's her right, okay? As a defendant, it's her right that she's going to do everything she can to try to get some of those statements dismissed. And she's, and she mentions this in her answer, that the anti-SLAPP law should apply, that this should be dropped, and that she should be awarded attorney's fees because the anti-SLAPP law that was adopted in Minnesota in, I believe it was May of 2024. I don't think it's going to apply here. I'm pretty certain it won't, but I can't speak for the judge. We'll have to wait and see. So we're going to see arguments about that clearly. She's making strong arguments about how she's a journalist. We're going to go through that. Hey, St. Elmo's Fire. KJ must prove them true. Todd said he wasn't finished with her. St. Elmo's Fire, did you see any of the videos I put out where she has defamed him since the settlement agreement, how she broke the settlement agreement? I did a couple videos on it. And he can absolutely prove that she defamed him. And then she won't be able to prove that they're true. If you listen to the things that she said. So that one's in the bag. But not only that, it's not even that. She broke the settlement agreement. Now, we don't know what the settlement agreement is. I don't know what those terms are. So I don't know exactly what she broke. If she broke it, does he get awarded money? If she broke it, I don't know what their terms were. So he'll be able to prove it. And she's not going to be able to prove anything she said was true. But not only that, even if she does, she broke the settlement agreement. She's not supposed to speak on him or his family or his businesses. And she's done all of that. Does she drag it on purpose? Are you talking about, if you're talking about this lawsuit, I might be missing what's in the chat there, Ginger. She's definitely dragged this on. She's blaming it on 7M. I think it's kind of been on, I don't think it's been on 7M's part nearly as much as Katie Joy's. Yeah, it's wanting to restart my computer. Hopefully it doesn't. If it does, then I'll just have to come back. Yeah, she broke it because both parties said they can't speak on each other. Now, if he wants to come back and sue her for the other things that she said, I mean, maybe that's what he's doing too. Maybe he's got something else planned out, right? He even said, whenever I posted that I'd put the video out, I posted on X, and he commented and said, "Thanks for letting me know. I'm gonna sue her." Something like that. With Steve McRae. That's when you first saw. Yeah. Yeah, all that was. Hey, Skynet. Happy Tuesday, Unitopia. You'll be in the replay gang. All right. So basically, when you look at, okay, keep in mind, all right, I try to stay fair as fair can be. It's been 4 years, right? 7M filed an amended complaint. The judge granted it. It has 212 statements that 7M are alleging as defamatory. As we get towards the end, the last 100 of those are really bad, in my opinion. Her ego is her downfall, Safari. Oh, yeah, she's not going to mention Lindsay's recent issues, Gingerly. She'd really be screwed. But, I mean, look at all the other stuff that she's done, right? So it's like we can't ever really guess whenever she has, any sense about anything. Thanks, Blake. Yes, please hit the thumbs up. If you haven't done so, please try to remember to do it on the way out if you don't want to do it right now. If you have not yet subscribed, please consider doing that as well. If you're not getting notifications to this, go ahead and unsubscribe, give it a bit, resubscribe, and then reset your notifications. I'm getting a lot of people tell me they're not getting notifications. And I have certain channels that I watch that I'm not getting notifications on too. So I go and I just I unsub, resub, and reset my notifications. Her ego in her mouth completely. Yep. So interestingly enough, the biggest defense, and we've seen this over the 4 years that Katie's been arguing this, one of the biggest changes in this answer is her being a journalist. That, the defense of she's a journalist, right? And you'll see where she says, like, she's an investigative reporter or journalist or something, that she's been a journalist for a long time, and that, like, she's cited by all these media outlets. Okay, like what, the Inquirer? Yes, you were on News Nation, and I think they regret that shit. I think they regret that, honestly, because she gave out false information, and now they've got these episodes out there with Katie Joy on it, saying all these things about Robert Shin that have proven not to be true. Hey, Brittany. Yeah, I mean, an anti-SLAPP law doesn't allow you to just go say whatever the hell you want just because there's an anti-SLAPP law in your state. There's still rules. And there's defamation in this case, in my opinion. And the judge has already ruled on those other 87 past statements, the original statements. She hasn't even really ruled on if these other ones would be considered defamatory by a jury or not, and that a jury needs to determine that. If she did it with these other statements, I don't see much hope for Katie Joy in this. People like News Nation don't care. I don't, they pump out so many things a day that when they had Katie Joy on those 2 times, those are so pushed back in the archives that I bet you, and they didn't get many views in comparison. Let's just be honest about it. Yeah, an investigative journalist who never leaves their house. Like, these people that have, like, look, JLR, I'm not necessarily a fan of. Okay, well, I'm just not a fan. But whenever he at least goes out and does shit, he calls himself an investigative journalist, and I chuckle at that too, but he's out there. He gets interviews, he does shit. There's other people like that as well. I had somebody in chat the other day, you might be in here again, saying that your family are true journalists. This just has to chap their, it just has to chap your ass if you went to school for journalism, if you're educated in it. Katie's admitted in some filings here that she's never had any formal education in journalism, that she has read up on stuff online about ethics and stuff. Yeah, see, I agree, Gigi. Insisting that she's a journalist could very well work against her. She could be held to a higher standard. I don't know why she keeps arguing, but at this point, to be honest, this is my thought. This is just, don't take my word for it, because I don't know. This is just my thought. Somebody that has more knowledge than me, if you're in here and you want to chat about it or put it in the comments, let me know. I think this judge is leaving it up to the jury to decide if Katie Joy is a journalist or not. And keep in mind, too, none of the three plaintiffs have really been, when I say the three, I mean Robert, Miranda, and James, have been deemed public figures by the court. They've kind of said that they're plausibly public figures, whatever, and 7M's been kind of arguing that. But when it comes to Robert Shin, I don't know how they're going to look at that. I can look at it the way I want to look at it, but that doesn't mean shit. It depends what the court's going to say. So I think, it's just my opinion. Again, I think the court is going to leave that decision up to the jury to decide, when it comes to their rulings and, I mean, their decisions and stuff on things, if Katie Joy is a journalist. But even then, listen, I believe it was in the motion, in the order on their motions for contempt, both parties filed motions for contempt. I'm sorry, not contempt. I always say that. To compel, motions to compel, right? Motions to compel discovery. The jury, Lord, y'all, I haven't eaten today. The judge said, what was I just talking about? God, I just got distracted with something. She said two things, but one of the things was that the court has not deemed her a journalist. But then it was something to do with the plaintiffs, and if they are, basically the judge said, look, even if you're a journalist, this doesn't apply, basically. And she cited some law. And I might need to go back and find that, because now's the time to really pull that back up, and some of the things that Katie Joy has said since then. But the judge has basically said it doesn't matter. So I don't know if she's going to leave that for the jury, or if she's just going to say it doesn't matter. You're going to hop, Goose? Where are you hopping to? She obviously needs to read the ethics code again. I know. Does she still do lives on Instagram? She stopped St. Elmo's Fire. And another thing that I find very important to talk about is the last hearing that was held in this case was a pretrial hearing where all parties were required to appear in person. And Katie said, they're not going to show. They don't give enough about this case. Of course, they all showed. And when they showed, it was a pretrial hearing, but the judge, 7M, had filed just a few days before that their motion to amend the complaint. So after that hearing, Katie Joy goes live, and she did a YouTube video, and she's like, they actually think that they're going to add over 100 more statements to this, but the anti-SLAPP law applies. And they're trying to frame me. They're trying to frame me saying that I'm the reason why Robert Shin got raided, which says to me that obviously it was brought up that was a big part of this hearing, that she hasn't zipped her mouth, that he hasn't been indicted, and that 7M has reason to believe, and I don't see Amber Stabbing making this argument unless she has absolute proof. That's just my opinion. But it sounds like they're saying we have reason to believe that Katie Joy is behind this raid, that she's a reason for it. She's a cause of it, right? She helped cause this raid. And I think, and it pissed Katie Joy off so much, and she did what she always does, where she knee jerks, she can't help herself, and she goes straight to social media. And she says, they're framing me. That's the last time she has spoke on them, y'all. So what's going on? What's going on? And I have my beliefs and my thoughts, but I'd be irresponsible to even say that out loud. I can always just kind of imply. And then when it happens, I'll be like, see, That's what I was saying all along. Has to be in writing for me, y'all. That's another thing with my channel. All I'm doing is putting out here what's in this lawsuit because so many people are unaware. Look, when we get through the first 90 statements of this, they're like, yeah, that's defamatory. Yeah, that's pretty shitty. Yeah, that's pretty bad. Where's your proof on that, right? Hold on, y'all. I gotta move around. Once we get to 2024 statements that she made in 2024, y'all, that's when we're gonna start having some fun in these videos and these live streams, right? Not that we're not having fun now. Not that we're not having fun now. So one of the biggest things in comparison with this new answer that just showed up on the docket yesterday. Oh, in Unitopia, I was out doing something and I saw a notification from you that said she responded. And I was like, she responded? What did she respond to? And I went, oh shit, she must have filed her answer. And then I saw that some people had sent me messages saying that she filed her answer because I was out doing stuff. I didn't even look at the docket last couple of days. Jill, you think Todd finally told her to shut up? Like Todd Chrisley or her husband, Todd? Because I don't know. I think she's finally realized, okay, this is going to go somewhere. Even though she thinks it's frivolous, she can state it all day long it's frivolous, and they're just trying to silence her, whatever she says. But I think she's realizing now, okay, well, the court doesn't see it that way. But then again, I mean, I don't know. So basically about her being a journalist, that appeared more in here. She elaborates on that. We're going to look at that for sure. I think she brings up about the Netflix docuseries, how she was an archival consultant on that, which to me isn't going to look good to the jury when you have Miranda and James up there, who's very likable, and they're going to talk about how the docuseries was one-sided, and they're going to be able to prove that a lot of things when it came to Miranda and James. Now, when it comes to the sisters, Melanie and Priscilla, I don't speak on that, okay? They very well could be victims. And I'm not saying they are, they aren't. But I'm not going to victim shame anybody. That's their story. That's their story to tell. And they told their story on Netflix. They had the opportunity to do so. Miranda and James didn't. And that's what pisses me off. So the docuseries very well could have and should have just been about that. But they made it all about Miranda and James. Why? Look at Miranda. Miranda's a poster child for them. It's very unfortunate that that's how this shit works. A beautiful blonde-haired, blue-eyed girl, that's what sells. That's what makes the news. That's what makes people click. That's what gives people views. So they've all used Miranda as their poster child. So I don't talk about the other women, okay? But when it comes to Miranda and James, when they're going to be on there and they're going to say this docuseries has zero truth to it, here's my truth. That's going to look bad for Katie Joy. So she brings that up in her answer. I'm not able to really read chat, y'all. I'm sorry. Oh, I know, St. Elmo's Fire. What she did to LB. It's just, Rabbit says, here's my issue with the whole docuseries, NKJ. The real story was Robert Shin and the Asian sisters. Shin is a womanizer. He confirmed that. That's the story. Thank you, Rabbit. Exactly. So am I ever going to put down Melanie and Priscilla? No. You know why? Because I don't know their story well enough. I didn't watch the docuseries long enough. I couldn't. I did the best I could. I was painting my house when I was doing that, listening to it. And I remember being on the other side of the room and it was playing and I wanted to punch the fucking wall. Like, luckily I didn't spill the paint. But I remember vividly when I was listening to it and I was so frustrated because I know a different side of it. We know a different side of it. Thank you, Brittany. In my opinion, Miranda and James are the only victims. They are victims of Katie. I agree. Are they victims of Robert to maybe something? Possibly. But so are probably half of them or 3/4 of Americans that work for somebody that are a 1099 or if they're a W-2 employee, whether they're not being paid fair, whether they're being overworked, whatever it may be. Okay, fine. Maybe they're a victim of that, but they're certainly not being trafficked. But KJ in the docuseries needed a white blonde-haired victim, make it popular. Exactly, Rabbit. Okay, so that's one of the main things. We're going to look at how she describes herself as a journalist in a second. There was something about the cease and desist letter. We'll go through that too. And as we read it, maybe if any of y'all have more knowledge than I do about it, I don't know if I have anybody in here, but once we get to that, of course, and then it was all court records. It's all public records, firsthand accounts and all that kind of stuff. No. But you can't use a lawsuit as your source, especially when Robert won that lawsuit. All of the things were alleged against Robert Shin in that lawsuit. All those allegations are the ones that Katie spit out as facts. But he won that lawsuit, regardless of why or how or what. Okay? The ruling on that lawsuit left it as, these are allegations. And then Katie goes and spits them as fact. So, and then, of course, she's going to talk about the federal investigation on him, which is not going to go well for her, in my opinion. I could be wrong. But now that Robert Shin has not been indicted yet, technically has until July 6th, my understanding, my belief, that $105,222 that was seized on July 25th during that raid, in October, there was a forfeiture notice saying we're forfeiting this money because we believe it was involved in criminal activity. It's linked to criminal activity. And Robert Shin did his American right to fight for that and defend that. And my understanding is it was returned. Now, do I know if it was returned in full or in part? No. Do I know what the agreement is? No. Does Katie Joy know what the agreement is? No. Not technically, unless it's hearsay, unless she's able to see the federal documents, what the agreement is, but it's sealed for all of us to see. And then there's some that she didn't, I'm sure there's some of like the questions or whatnot that she kind of admitted to in the first one, but then kind of goes back and denies in this one. But it could be because they were worded differently. I don't know. I'm not going to get into all that. And again, as a reminder, I want y'all to remember, in the original lawsuit, there were 9 counts. It says that there were 10, but they skipped number 9. That was an error on 7M's part. There was never a number 9. It just went from 8 to 10, if that makes sense. It went number 1 through 9 and then skipped to 10. 1 through 8 and skipped to 10. There was never number 9. It was an error on their part. It was never corrected. But then somewhere along the way, number 5, right? Count 5 was, I believe it was count 5. Don't quote me, but I'm pretty sure it was count 5, was intentional infliction of emotional distress. And they dropped that. We've talked about probably why or whatever, but nonetheless, now there's 8 counts in this lawsuit. So obviously that's a change, but that's nothing to be too noted. She's really expanding on her defenses now. Clearly, she has to. Before, she didn't think it was going to go anywhere. So she just kind of haphazardly put together this answer. It was very lazy, in my opinion. I remember doing a video on it going, this is just bullshit. This is like lazy. If I were the judge, I'd be annoyed, right? But that's just me and me being one-sided, okay? But I still kind of feel that way. This one's a lot different. And it just goes to show she's taking it seriously now, or her attorney is, whoever wrote this shit. Submitted by her attorney, obviously. I don't know. We think Katie Joy writes everything anyways. Of course she's going to write her answer, but and again, we're going to hear about the anti-SLAPP and why she thinks that this whole case needs to be dismissed because of that. She needs to be awarded attorney's fees, y'all. Come on now. Brittany says 7M was a successful business before Katie started lying on them. She has no, that's the thing, Brittany, I agree. Her self-awareness, she thinks, I know everything I say she would disagree with. She's incapable of listening to the outside and hearing that, look, read the room, Katie Joy. And yeah, like, you need to be more self-aware. She thinks that the raid is why Miranda and James deactivated their social media presence. Exactly. All it did was up the heat. Why? Because Katie Joy started talking about it again. And then all her minions started to go after them even harder. Oh, and so that's another thing that was filed yesterday, right? Was Miranda and James refiled their sworn affidavits because of this whole Katie Joy throwing this whole big fit about they said it was deleted but now they're saying it was deactivated. And the judge is like, come on, fine, resubmit them just to have it on record. That's how I took it. Could be wrong. Maybe it wasn't that last day of school in her opinion, but that's how I took it. Fine, put it on the record. So they both refiled their sworn affidavit saying that they that they deactivated their social media presence because of the backlash they received from Katie Joy's reporting. So that was also submitted yesterday, was filed yesterday. And then again, now she's going to bring up the federal raid, and how that's in that's a good faith defense, I think is how she was kind of putting it. And of course, that wasn't in the original answer because there wasn't a federal raid back in 2022. So in a nutshell, basically, Katie's saying, I'm a journalist, that the plaintiffs are public figures. Okay, we're going to, again, those are two things, like I just said, I think that the judge is going to leave to the jury. She's arguing more now that this is a matter of public concern. We've seen her arguing that throughout these filings as we've gone along. These are from public records. These are from sources. And that's what's going to be interesting to see is what her sources are when it comes to trial, what she's going to say, who's going to be there to actually say, yeah, I was a source in that. Hang on one second, y'all. I'll go mute for a second. Okay. Sorry about that. My legs and my ass are falling asleep the way I'm sitting. Hold on, I'm going to mute one more time so I can adjust, because I know when I adjust, it makes all kinds of noise. Okay, I think I'm comfortable now for another 30 minutes. Let's see how this goes. Obviously, the FBI, and, obviously her biggest thing is going to be they cannot prove actual malice. But I think the judge has even said, and we're talking about the original 87 statements, y'all, not these additional 212. The judge has said clearly that this is up for a jury to decide. So she couldn't prove it on those other statements. I don't see it changing it all in this. So let me share. Let's look at. Let me know if y'all can see this. Is that all on the screen? Let me see. Y'all can see that? Okay. So this is her answer to the second amended complaint. Hold on. I gotta adjust this somehow. Oh, shoot. Not like that. Hold on. Give me a second while I struggle. My struggles over here. Oh, dog it. Bear with me. You know how I do this. All right. Is that showing up? Okay. Let me see. I might not have that in there properly. Is that good? All right. All righty. Let me scroll back up now that I kind of have my shit together. Kind of. All right. So this is to answer the second minute complaint. We're going to go through this very quickly. Because again, I'm not going to bore y'all with all the details. If you, I don't know if anybody has the link. I don't know if Blake is still in here, but Blake usually is able to put the link to, I can't do it right this second, but I always include the link to where you can go look up the documents yourself. So if you're interested in going and looking at all the documents from when they were filed in April of 2022, or if you just want to go back and compare the complaints, her answers, feel free for that too. Katie thinks she's the victim in this lawsuit, but nobody from 7M or Robert done anything to her. Nope, they haven't. And whenever she tries to say that, so there's one video I did where when she went live on February 9th, she said, I am not a victim of Robert Shin. I have never claimed to be a victim of Robert Shin. I put that statement right next to the statements where she said, I am a victim of Robert Shin. I am one of Robert Shin's victims. I think she said it 3 times, at least. I was able to prove. Let's just call it twice. Even then, 1 is enough. I don't think she did say Elmo's fire. So this is just, basically, the lawsuit, the parties, right? Defendants admit, paragraph 1 of plaintiff's complaint. Defendants admit paragraph 2 of plaintiff's complaint, and add that Shin is also a public figure. Okay, so there we go. So Miranda and James have always acknowledged that they're public figures, according to Katie Joy right here. And she's saying, but so is Robert Shin. Now, from my recollection, and somebody told me yesterday I was talking to, they said they didn't think this is true, but from my recollection, and I would bet a lot on it, but then again, I don't really trust my memory sometimes, that in the LA lawsuit, they deemed him a public figure because he was a pastor and that he had written a book or something. So she's trying to add him here. And well, then she says, add that Miranda is also a public figure. James is also a public figure. Maybe they're saying they weren't public figures. I don't know. I need to go back and look at that more closely. I didn't really even look at this part, to be honest. Anyways, doesn't matter because we're just going to get to, because this doesn't matter because we're going to see her arguing everything in these motions she's about to file. And that's where we're going to spend a lot of time. So she's admitting to certain things and she denies. So now she said, well, in the original one, it's basically saying, that Miranda and James are represented by 7M. And now she's saying, okay, they're no longer represented by 7M. So these are just kind of the facts as time goes on. But I want to look at defendant social media presence. Defendants admit, paragraph 13. Twitter is no longer operational. Did she delete her Twitter, y'all? Whoa. Or did she deactivate it? Do y'all see that? Is it showing? Are y'all seeing? When I'm scrolling, is it scrolling? Because on my screen, it's not showing it scrolling. Recollections may vary. Yep. Nope, her Twitter is locked. It's under Live Katie. I'm not on. I'm like you'll see me post some things to X, but all I do is share my videos. I don't go on there anymore. I used to. Like sometimes I go on there and I would. I DM'd a couple people. Like I'd have conversations with a couple people. I just don't even go on there anymore, so I don't even know. But anyways, here she says that her Twitter's no longer operational. Defendants deny the allegations in paragraph 14. And again, I didn't go back and compare all these. As stated and put, plaintiffs to their strictest proof thereof. Katie affirmatively states that she holds herself out not merely as an entertainment blogger, but as an independent journalist and investigative reporter. Katie Joy has been working as a reporter, commentator, and investigative journalist since 2017. Her reporting has been sourced by People Magazine, The Today Show, In Touch Magazine, The Sun, The Daily Rag, so the Daily Mail, Rolling Stone, New York Magazine, Fox 13, Now Utah, BuzzFeed News, U.S. Magazine, Business Insider, NBC News, E-Online, and The Daily Beast, among others. Katie Joy served as an archival consultant for Netflix's documentary series Dancing for the Devil, the 7M TikTok cult, in which capacity she provided journalistic research to a major streaming platform. Katie Joy's Instagram biography dear God, don't make me laugh, describes her as an independent journalist. You can describe yourself. I can describe myself as a fucking Olympian swimmer. All right, let's do that. What else am I? I'm a farmer, y'all. I'm a world-renowned farmer. I farm these 2 goats outside that free range and destroy my life. But I love them with all my heart, but I can't have flowers. I mean, you can do whatever the hell you want. Her reporting on matters of public concern, including the activities of plaintiffs, was conducted in her capacity as a journalist. Y'all, this is, I'm sorry. This is funny as hell to me. It made my sides hurt yesterday when I was talking to somebody about this. We were reading it and I couldn't stop laughing. They admit that they make, produce, and upload videos reporting on a variety of topics, especially reality TV. Okay, I mean, so you're gonna talk about how you report on reality TV, but you're gonna call yourself a real journalist? Like, get the fuck out of here! Like, I can't. Trying to read chat and do this at the same time, and if y'all know how my brain works, you know that you should give me a round of applause for doing a good job, because my brain does not function like this. She most likely has a big insurance policy that pays big payments out for your wrongdoing. No, she doesn't. And she's even said that her insurance, she has no form of insurance. She made a post about that, saying that she has no coverage on this. And she was actually begging. I say begging. I mean, I don't want to use that word, but she was asking her YouTube following to donate because of that. And a lot of them don't cover defamation. So she doesn't have any coverage in this. It's her own bare ass. Right, Goose? I mean, yeah, okay, so they sourced you with your bullshit lies. Like, okay. But again, okay, they sourced her. So she has that. Okay, she has that. If they have, they have. And, you know. Hey, Weezy. You starting at the beginning? You'll hear me later on then. You'll hear me when I say hi to you. About the hour mark. We're just going to scroll. Defendants admit that their posts regarding plaintiffs are published. However, the allegations of paragraph 25, and specifically any and all allegations of false and disparaging information, are otherwise denied. So, I mean, of course, that's what her answer is going to be. Denying the fact that she's done anything defamatory, that anything was done with malicious intent. She admits that, yeah, she said these things basically, but, so continued disparagement. Defendants admit that 7M's sent a letter dated March 10th of 2022. Katie Joy denies that the letter constituted a legally sufficient cease and desist, and deny any remaining allegations in paragraph 27. It's weird to me, and I need to go back and look, but it seems like this is a new attack on the cease and desist that she was sent. Clearly, she denied it. I mean, she ignored it. She completely ignored it. Right, sunshine and rain, it blows my mind. And I think, and let me explain that real quick too. Let me pin that because I want to try to remember to did I pin the right one? Yeah. Wait. Yeah. I got to remember to answer that, but I want to finish my thought, which I just forgot what my thought was. Oh, so, it surprises me that she, of course she's going to bring up the cease and desist, right? She totally ignored it. That's why she got sued. That's the purpose of a cease and desist. And if you don't stop talking about me, I will sue you. Right. But she's saying that the letter acknowledged her First Amendment rights. Right. And that it did not identify specific false statements. Okay. Well, of course it didn't, because after that, all the other ones came following, and they didn't just come following, they came rolling out like thunder, man. So Sunshine and Rain says, it makes me wonder, who likes Katie Joy? And see, I had a point behind that, and I forgot what it was. So let me just carry on until I remember what that was all about. Oh, and we've talked about this before. So to answer that, my thought is this, and I've had people come into my chat lately who were not in my chat. I mean, come into comments and maybe into chat. I don't know. But nonetheless have commented and said that what I said in some of my videos, my live streams made sense. Katie Joy is a completely different person on YouTube. Completely different person on YouTube. Now, over the last year, she's kind of showing her ass a little bit more. I think when it came to the Browns and what happened with Garrison Brown, God rest his soul, that people started to see a certain side of her. Some people don't. And I'm with you. How the hell do people support that? Specifically those particular things. But for the most part, they see her on YouTube. Those that see her on Instagram and TikTok, like when she was doing stuff on TikTok, people that support her after that, I'm with you. How the heck can you support that? Blows my mind. There you go, Michelle. You called into a radio show, and now you can say they sourced you. Yeah, I've been sourced by lots of local publications in the area that I was from because of my business, right? Yeah. So there you go. I've been sourced too. Lulu asked, the judge deems her a journalist, wouldn't all CC on YouTube also be considered journalists? All content creators on. See, that's the thing, is that's where I think the courts will eventually catch up with this. And maybe, what's the word I'm even looking for? What's the word I'm looking for? Y'all help me out here. Like a journalistic league. That's not the word I'm looking for. People that are true journalists that are probably a part of an association or a part of some type of, what's the word I'm looking for? They might eventually fight this and say, we're tired of these yahoos claiming themselves as journalists or giving us all a bad name. And then eventually the courts might catch up. But at this point in time, Katie Joy can legally say she's a journalist. She just can. We can hate it all we want. She can. Anybody can say, I can say I'm a reporter because I'm reporting this nonsense to you. I won't do that, but I could, and people do. So just if this judge in Minnesota states that, doesn't mean that that's going to grant all content creators that title. I'm curious to see where this eventually goes. There's got to be somewhere down the line where where you're going to rein people in, and you can't just call yourself a reporter and then do the things that Katie Joy does. And I need to do a video on that, or we need to do a live stream on that, where we have a collective showing of all the things that Katie Joy has said that are so ridiculously terrible that no journalist would ever say, right? And I think that I'd be certain on this, and I'll let y'all know if it goes to trial. I'll let y'all know if 7M proves a point that what journalists would say these things. Pull up information of something and say, what if you're a journalist, what journalist would say this? Where's this within the ethics, right? So then she says that she denies allegations in paragraph 28. And again, I don't have the reference here. So she affirmatively states that they did not respond to the letter because the letter made only conclusory assertions of falsity without identifying any specific false statement or providing any factual basis for its claims. Okay, well then have your attorney reach out to their attorney and say, can you elaborate? Not just ignore it and laugh at it. She laughed at it. Do y'all remember all this? This is another thing that 7M is going to be able to prove. Okay, well, if she didn't understand it, why is she laughing about it and saying that it's frivolous? Well, that was after the lawsuit. Like, oh, this lawsuit after she was sued, after she was served. Defendants further affirmatively state that their continued reporting was conducted in good faith, was based on credible sources, including court records, public records, and firsthand accounts, and has been substantially corroborated by subsequent reporting. That's going to be a problem. That's going to be a problem. Just my opinion, but that's going to be a problem. Do you not read this shit you fucking write? Y'all. Okay, look, I'm at the point where this is where it's laughable to me. Like I said yesterday, I had some pretty good laughs where my sides were hurting, to where I was crying, my cheeks hurt, I was doing sit-ups without doing sit-ups. I was getting an ab workout in, okay? I had runner's cramps when I wasn't even running. I was laughing my ass off so hard at this shit. It's laughable, y'all. And this right here is what pisses me off too. And she said this in the original answer, but we're going to go over it again. Laws are sorely behind the times. You're right, Gigi. Defendants deny. Okay, well, anyways, she affirmatively states that any reputational harm suffered by plaintiffs is the result of plaintiffs' own conduct. Cover your ears for you, those of you that don't like cuss words. Fuck you, Katie Joy. Fuck you to the biggest capital FUCKs that I can even put out there. Because fuck you. Fuck you. Miranda and James did not choose to leave social media, to be threatened, to have their lives threatened, to have their existence threatened, to have their income taken away at their own doing. Fuck you, Katie Joy. And the findings of federal law enforcement. See, look, here's another thing. The findings of federal law enforcement, unless she knows something we don't know, okay? This is defamation in itself, in my opinion. I could be wrong. If there's an attorney in here that wants to tell me I'm wrong, please do. Let me know if I'm right or if I'm wrong. Saying the findings of federal law enforcement. So basically the plaintiffs, not just Robert Shin, but the plaintiffs, all three of the persons, own conduct and the findings of federal law enforcement. That's what suffered their reputational harm. Pardon my language, y'all, but again, F you to the fullest extent, Katie Joy. And I hope that a jury feels the same way I'm feeling right now. See, right, Jill B. Like, MDs or medical professionals, people just can't give out medical advice. And even as an MD, they have to be very careful with that. And it takes a lot, and they have to put out their credentials and everything. You're right. Journalists should have to as well. I have a feeling it's not going to happen anytime soon because this shit goes slow, but I think that'll catch up. You do go to school for journalism. I mean, there's a program, right? And those journalists are the ones that are taken seriously. But anybody, I'm just going to watch what I say here, can go on YouTube and call themselves a journalist or a reporter, an investigative one at that, y'all, because she's a stalker. I prefer the word stalker instead of investigator, right? In this sense of the word, but whatever. So this sentence pisses me off just as much as it did the first time I've read it. Pardon me for my outburst and my F-bombs. But I'm wondering if that's not defamation itself, because she's saying that the findings of federal law enforcement and not the results of any false or defamatory statement by defendants. There are no findings of federal law enforcement. that investigation would have become public record. Why? Because he would have been arrested, he would have been indicted, he would have been charged, he would there'd be a civil suit against him regarding that $105,000 that they're saying is linked to criminal activity, and there has not been. There's no civil suit for that, which means they don't see that this money is linked to criminal activity. So what federal law enforcement findings? Federal law enforcement. Bad move. Just my opinion. Again, I'm not an attorney, y'all. Don't forget, I've said this many times. Yes, I worked as a paralegal. That doesn't mean shit. That was years ago. Not only that, and this is just my opinion, but I've read, I read these things. I spent years in an office reading these things. There's a reason why I'm no longer in that job, because I cannot sit inside. I left the job because I can't sit inside. I changed my career, even though my career was never in that in the first place. I went to school for something completely different, which most of y'all probably have no clue about. And then I went on to do something that, because it was outside, I couldn't sit inside. Bless her soul. Well, no, not bless her soul. She's alive. Bless her heart. She, my boss that I worked for, the attorney that I worked for, she knew I had a hard time sitting inside. She actually gave me her office that had a window, y'all. And then when she knew I was still struggling, she went to the property management and asked them if she could pay to put some outside seating, like picnic tables out there. And she did. She funded that. She put picnic tables outside so I could, and she bought me a specific laptop to go out there and sit outside when I needed to go outside and do my work. And it was very beneficial. But when she saw that my heart was somewhere else, where it belonged to be, which is my absolute love, which is when I started doing what I loved, I never worked a day again in my life. Okay. That's just how it goes. But I did read documents all the time. I still enjoy it. I still will read them, and I read them so y'all don't have to. Okay. I'll shut up now. Hey, Joel, thank you for sending a gift. See, I don't know how these gifts work, but thank you for that. Thank you for that. And I'm not reading chat, so I'm just going on and on about my own personal life, but I'll shut up now because that's irrelevant. All right, so here we are. The counts, remember, I'm just going to remind you the counts. Count 1 is defamation. Okay. She's going to deny it all and say, whatever. Okay. Count 2, defamation per se. Count 3, tortious interference of contract. That's going to be, I think that's really going to get her too. Now, before all these new statements were entered into this amended complaint, I was thinking tortious interference was going to be her biggest nightmare. Now it's going to be as equally as big as the others. I don't know. I know, Goose. That's interesting in itself too. The whole thing with Arkansas. Hey, Luke. My buddy, my pal, my friend. Hey, everyone. Dead reminder, KJ's trash bag. Catching up during lunch. I appreciate you. I miss you, Luke. I miss all my peeps. But I haven't seen you in a while. So we've got to pin the daily reminder that Katie Joy is a trash bag. I miss you, my friend. I hope you're doing all right. And again, all of you that come into my chat, that listen from the bushes, that don't make yourself known, I appreciate you just as much as I do everybody else. I don't want you to think that you have to come in here and chat for me to say, to say these things. I used to see Luke in a lot of other chats that I would communicate with him about, and his name is Pro Charlotte Luke for a reason. And he's, I'd always see him in Charlotte's chat. So anyways, hope you're doing all right. All right. So then we get to count 4, commercial defamation. We've gone through all this before. Count 5, which is now gone, which I said was intentional infliction of emotional distress. So it was count 5. That is gone. They've done away with that. I have my suspicions as to why, and it doesn't matter. Count 7, deceptive trade practices. Count 8, intentional interference with prospective advantage. Okay. So, and then count 10, injunctive relief. regarding the allegations under count 10, injunctive relief encompassing paragraphs 99. So this is all just going through exactly what is in the complaint, the amended complaint. The injunctive relief. That's what, they're eventually going to go for having Katie Joy to shut up. Hold on a second. I'm reading something right now, y'all. I just saw someone just sent me something. And I'm like, what the hell? So I need to look at that later. Y'all, Katie Joy's off the rails. Okay. Anyways, jury demand. All right. So 7M says request a jury, and plaintiff's jury demand does not contain factual allegations, and therefore no answer is required. Affirmative defenses. So this is way more strong than it was in the she's just ridiculous. First affirmative defense is truth. She's saying that everything she said is true. Truth is complete defense to defamation under Minnesota law. Second is opinion. So that, things were her opinion. Third is actual malice, saying that they are public figures and must prove by clear and convincing evidence that defendants made the alleged statements with actual malice, that is, with knowledge of their falsity or with reckless disregard for the truth or falsity. Plaintiffs cannot meet this burden. Bullshit. It's even stronger now that this amended complaint has been granted, right? So if the judge did not grant summary judgment based on these things and said that's up for a jury to decide, okay, whatever you say, Katie Joy. We'll see where it goes. Lack of damages, saying that plaintiffs have suffered no damages. Don't make me start screaming the F word again. Don't make me do it. Whew. Fifth is privilege. Katie's statements are protected by the common law privilege applicable to reporting on matters of public concern and public controversy. Again, I think that's going to be something for a jury to really decide on. First Amendment, she's saying this is our First Amendment right. We'll see where that goes, Katie. Independent source. The information reported by Katie was derived from independent sources, including court records, public records, firsthand accounts of witnesses, and reporting by other credible media organizations. Those credible media organizations that they used like these articles that were published by other sources, but guess what? They were published after Katie Joy started talking about it, and they were following her narrative. So we'll see where that goes with the jury. And was not the product of reckless disregard for the truth. Eighth defense is good faith. Defendants acted in good faith at all times and had reasonable grounds to believe the truth of the statements made. Defendants' reporting was substantially corroborated by subsequent federal law enforcement action, including a raid by the FBI. Oh my God. See, federal grand jury proceedings and asset forfeiture proceedings targeting plaintiffs. Oh man, this is going to bite. I can't wait to see this bite her in the ass. It might not. It might not. It might not. Hey, JJ, you're welcome. I mean, Jill B, Jill says, thanks, JJ, for your work in this case. It's been a long 4 years. You're very welcome. I'm doing it for y'all. You can see how mad this makes me at times. Overnight diapers will be needed with liners. I don't know what y'all are talking about, but that's funny as hell. Okay. Ninth, I love how I do that. I'm so good about just like, I don't read chat for a good 5 minutes and then I just totally pushed myself away into some of these conversations that has nothing to do with me. Because like y'all be talking about something that I'm talking about, but y'all are in your own little conversation, then I get in and I just so don't listen to me. Failure to mitigate. But if you're talking about Katie Joy and diapers overnight, that's funny. Plaintiffs have failed to take reasonable steps to mitigate their alleged damages. And that might be arguable because I don't really know, because we don't see what's been provided in discovery, right? What was provided in discovery regarding, their alleged damages. So I can't speak to that. But 7M clearly can and apparently has and all that. Fault of third parties, her 10th affirmative defense. Any harm suffered by 7M was caused by the acts or omissions of third parties over whom defendants had no control, including but not limited to federal law enforcement agencies and other. She had to put this in here. And other media organizations reporting on the same subject matter. Like, I'm not the reason why there was a federal investigation. Dumbasses. I'm not the reason, but I don't know. I mean, yeah, she had to put that in there. 11th is statute of limitations. And I remember we've talked about this. She says, to the extent any claims are based on statements made outside the applicable statute of limitations, those claims are time barred. I don't think the judge agrees with this. I think she's made it clear. But again, there hasn't been a solid ruling on that because Katie Joy is going to file more motions. Then we'll see that. But keep in mind, the statute of limitations for defamation in the state of Minnesota is 2 years. Okay. The second amended complaint was filed February 6th, either February 3rd or February 6th of 2026, which would mean anything prior to February of 2024. So then she's saying that's time barred and should not be in. So that would include comments from after the time she was sued. That was included in the original complaint, right? So anything she said that was not included in the original complaint up until February of 2024, she's saying those statements need to all just be tossed out. Okay. And I don't think the judge agrees with that. So there you have it. We'll see though. I mean, I can't speak on that. But there is a statute of limitations. But 7M argued within the law why it's not applicable here. And I think from what I kind of gathered, I think the judge is kind of siding with that. But again, we're going to see stronger arguments from Katie Joy regarding this, and then we're going to see an actual ruling on it. So, but there is a statute of limitations. And then the other issue is the anti-SLAPP. And, she's saying that defendants are entitled to dismissal, costs, and attorney's fees thereunder. I don't see that happening. And keep in mind, those two issues right there that we just went over, those were the questions that she wanted certification from the appellate court. She asked the judge to ask the appellate court regarding this before, because she didn't have the right in her court to make these decisions, that it needed to be presented to an appellate court for them to decide, because, and basically we went over this too. That's really her only way at this stage to be able to try to appeal. And the judge shot that down. And we know there's going to be an appeal after this. I mean, come on, we just know it's going to happen. The 13th is failure to state a claim. 14th is no special damages. 15th is causation. And that's it. So we talked about we went over the main the main differences there in the beginning as to what's different. Main thing is her claim of being, her extension or her elaboration, shall I say, of being a journalist and all that. She talks about the cease and desist and why she didn't listen to it because it wasn't, specific enough. I don't I know that KJ has brought up all of that FBI stuff, cross-examine her and find the evidence that she's the one who called. Oh, I have a feeling, Goose, that if there's any evidence of that, it's already in the works. And I say if, because we don't know. But you're right. I mean, they'll be able to present this if they truly believe that there's any she is part of the reason or cause for the raid to have happened, or there's federal investigation, we'll know. Good question, Lulu. How about those taxes? I wonder if she has provided what. I'm really curious to see how we're going to find out about, because this last, we went live and I think I did a video on the motions, those last motions that were filed outside of this motion to amend complaint. And 7M is saying Katie Joy has never provided her tax records. And Katie Joy is saying, well, I haven't because you haven't provided social media monetization records. And I don't think there's anything that they need to provide that wasn't provided from what it sounds like. Again, I don't know. That's just from looking at their correspondence between the attorneys. That's just what I gathered from their correspondence, what we've seen. Again, I'm not privy to all the stuff that goes on behind the scenes. I don't know what was provided in discovery. But yeah, you're dying to see her taxes. Yeah. Well, I think anybody would love to see them, but I don't think we'll ever be able to see them. Yeah, 1 minute she has people working for her. She still uses the word we all the time, but why isn't there a we that's going to be going to trial, right? Just a reminder, hit that thumbs up if you have not. All right, so it's 1:30. It's 11:30. I've been on for an hour and a half. Do you guys want to go over some more of the statements? The video that I put out yesterday was numbers 1 through 50. We've already covered those in a live stream. Hold on, is that sharing? Yeah. Why isn't it? So we went through on the last live stream, the last 2 live streams, we've gotten up to number 70. So we'd start at 71. The video I put out yesterday, if you prefer to watch it that way, I did 1 through 50. Do y'all want to go over a few more of these, or do you want to call it quits for the day? It is very fishy that she doesn't want to hand them over. It would be hilarious if her taxes are fraudulent. It would be. And my question is, why aren't you showing them? If you have nothing to hide, why aren't you showing them? There's something. She got the BMW. Oh, was it around the time of those COVID company checks? I don't know. I know she got it in the fall, I think, of 2023. It might be 2024. I think it was 2023. I think it was before the docuseries came out in 2024. You think it's she doesn't want to know how much she makes and still makes money from the state. Yeah, I mean, my guess is there's something that she doesn't want them to see, because their CPA could take a look at it and, they can determine if there's something that's wrong. I don't, again, a lot of this stuff, a lot of the tax, all the tax records and things like that, those are all under seal. So we won't see them through this lawsuit. Now, when it goes to trial, they might be able to bring something up and we get an idea about something, but we might not see them. Yeah, I'm sure she's honest on her taxes, says Lulu. Yes, please. You want me to go through a few of these, Michelle? Go over a few more, says poor Charlotte Luke. All right, let's do it. Let's do it. Please, man, can we have more? Yes, 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 and yes. Pro Charlotte Luke, did you see the last videos I've put out? I know you got a busy schedule, my friend, but you've got to keep up with what's going on with this because it's about to get good. It's about to get good. Now's the time. If there's people that were kind of like, I don't really care about Katie Joy, blah, blah, blah. I get it. Now's the time to start watching it because now's the time where it's going to get bad. We're right at that pivotal moment. Katie Joy has a lot of arguing to do. Okay. Right now we're about to look at number 71 of 212 statements, right? She's got to do something. She and her attorneys need to pull some magic to be able to get some of these dismissed. Whether she's going to be able to get some of them dismissed because of they're time barred, because it falls within the statute of limitations if the judge agrees with that. That can be argued. So it is something the judge can say no. It all relates back. See, that was part of the law on that. If it relates back to the original claim, then it can stay. It can remain. Like the judge won't have to agree that it's time barred, right? So the judge did say somewhere, I believe, or alluded or whatever. I got the idea that basically, because 7M argued, look, this all relates back. So it does apply, and the statute of limitations does not apply, right? So I don't think that one's going to work. The anti-SLAPP law, if for whatever reason she's able to, they're able to say, yeah, nothing you've said seems to be defamatory, whatever, sure. Then yeah, she'd be in good hands. But I don't think that's going to happen. Never say never. It would suck if it did. And then she's also filed another summary judgment, and she's going to go through each of these statements, and she's going to explain. And she already did this pretty much in her response to 7M's motion to amend complaint. She did a whole chart with each statement and said whether it was an opinion, whether it was sourced, whatever it was, right? She did a whole chart, color-coded. It was actually pretty impressive. Why did she didn't do that shit all along? I don't know. Did somebody else help her? Maybe. Whatever it may be, it was a lot more laid out. It made a lot more sense. So she'll probably use that, maybe tweaked a little bit whenever it comes to summary judgment to defend each one of these statements. And then we'll see if the judge decides to toss any, toss all, toss none. I don't know. I don't think it's going to go well for Katie Joy. I think the jury's going to see the majority of these 212 statements that are on this amended complaint. Okay, number 71. Gigi, exactly. With Katie's accusations equal confessions. Listen, there is a couple of videos that Katie Joy has done. I think they were live streams. I have them clipped, where she actually says out of her own mouth, okay, every accusation is a confession. And she's talking about Rose Blanchard. She's talking about the Duggars, but when she's saying that, she's saying every accusation is a confession. Those are her words. So you're right about that, Gigi. I'll just see another criminal. Takes one to know one, right? It can, yeah. Yeah. Or, like there are specialists and professionals in every area for a reason. So even if somebody might not have a criminal mind, they've studied criminal behavior, the psychology behind it, all of those elements, for these different professionals. And those alone can say from their expertise, statistics, whatever it may be, that maybe Katie Joy's showing some criminal behavior. You see what I'm saying? I'm not. But when you say sometimes it takes a criminal to see another criminal, yeah. And I think that there could be professionals that could say from their expertise, yeah, That's a true statement. Anywho. So again, what's highlighted is what is considered defamatory, is what 7M is considering defamatory. Shekinah Church demands members include them on all emails through blind copy, meaning the recipient cannot see that Hannah is reading the emails. I've received numerous emails of her reprimanding members for not including her in all communication for their work and with friends or family. Now, you might understand why Miranda isn't talking to her parents. Hannah controls her every move. And then they highlight, and this was in April of, what was the exact date? I can't see right this second, but they highlight April 3rd of 2022. So just a few days before she was served. And they highlighted all of those hashtags. So they're saying that every hashtag down there is important to that post. Number 74 is regarding Keto Cycle. It says Keto Cycle terminates Miranda's partnership. What is highlighted here is Keto Cycle terminated their relationship with Miranda after learning about her involvement with 7M. Former members agree that the only way to end the situation is to cut off the money and find a way for Robert Shin to be held criminally responsible. They assert that the money made is benefiting Robert and Shekinah. That is a common sentence used about narcissists. Yeah, I see that, Ruth Carroll. Yeah, when you say that. You know, that because projection is a big part of narcissism, right? So I think that you project, I guess a narcissist projects so much. And that's why, in my opinion, Katie Joy is so, she's so predictable, right? The queen of projection, Gigi says. So this one, I didn't find the post to, but this comment is actually terrifying. Why is Miranda's life in danger? I'm not doing anything to physically hurt Miranda. Hold on, let me go back. Was this deleted? Okay, that's why it was deleted. So there must have been something that Miranda said. I need to go back and try to find this. I probably did. I just don't remember. I probably got it somewhere. But on April 5th, so the day she was served, with the original complaint, which it was just 7M and Robert Shin as plaintiffs on that. 2 days later, on the 7th, she was served with the amended summons, and that added Miranda and James Derrick as plaintiffs. Hey, Donna, damn it. Right? I'm telling you, I keep getting people saying that they're not getting notifications. Sorry, but glad you're here. We went over the Katie Joy's answer to the amended complaint. So that was the first part. We just now started to go over, starting at number 71. We're about to do 75. Number 71 of the statements. So in the past lives, we got it to number 70. Today we started at 71. But prior to that, we talked about her answer. So if you want to go back and listen to that. But if you want to stay and chat with us, that'd be great, because right now we're just talking about this, and you can go back and listen to that if you want. Good to see you, Donna. So this was deleted. So this obviously was when Miranda said something about how her life was in danger, and listen to how Katie Joy, this explains why it was deleted. Again, this is a day she was served. This is a dumb move. And it's so funny that as I go through these, as many times as I've seen all this shit, as many times as I've read all this stuff, as many times as I've read all the filings and all of this, sometimes it clicks. And right now it just clicked. So this was obviously when Miranda made a statement. Okay. And it was obviously something that she had put on social media. It wouldn't have been her personal page. It would have been one of the other ones. Right. And she says something, and then Katie Joy says, this comment is actually terrifying. Why is Miranda's life in danger? I'm not doing anything to physically hurt Miranda. Okay, and this is April 2022. Think about how much more she has done to hurt Miranda since this date. Again, on this day, Miranda and James had not been included on the lawsuit. I wonder if this prompted it. And she deleted it. And as of this date, now it depends on when it was, if she acknowledged that she was served or not, whatever time that she made this post, whether or not she acknowledged that she was served or not. Because if she had acknowledged that she was served already and made this post, then she went against the preservation and she deleted something. Good, Donna. I like to see you chat. Gingerly, and I bet she has an IQ of 142. The IG test said so. Most of us don't have to take tests. We know we're not narcissists. That's right. She had that. Has anybody ever taken that? Like, there's like 500, 600 something questions on that test. I forget what it's called. I have to ask my mom's a mental health professional, if y'all don't know this. So when it comes to personality disorders and things like that, I always ask her questions. And again, she can just say she can just say, yeah, that sounds like, or, whatever, that fits with, she can't obviously diagnose anything, but I get a lot of feedback from that and I like it. And so when it comes to these certain tests and stuff like that, I've read a lot of those and I can't remember what they are. I can't remember, obviously, certain things, but Katie Joy, she said that she took a test and that now listen, if she is diagnosed as ADHD, which she says she is, you take that test, whatever it's, God, what is it called? It's hundreds of questions, but you have to take that test for diagnosis, but it diagnoses all the personality disorders along with bipolar, all the cluster B, right? So, it'll tell you if you're a narcissist, borderline, antisocial, histrionic, all the things. Not just if you're ADHD, if you're bipolar, there's a bunch of others. It's for a whole diagnosis, and you cannot fool it. So she knows what she's been diagnosed as. None of my, I'm not here to say she is or she isn't. She sure acts like one. She sure acts like a lot of things. And look, y'all, I think that's what part of this is for me, is a fascination. And that's how it was with Michelle, with MGL Michelle Goes Live. Oh my God, y'all. For those of you in here that don't know who she is, your life is so much better for it. For those of you that are in here and have watched the things from the last couple of days, holy hell. Why I ever spoke on her, I don't know. But again, I think it's a fascination of it. I'm fascinated by this. I'm fascinated with Katie Joy and why this is where it's at and how she's gotten here and how, in my opinion, a personality disorder has brought her here. It's fascinating to me. Anyways, I'll shut up. Personality inventory test. What are the, what's the abbreviation for it? There's an abbreviation for it. Isn't there? It's like 4 letters or something. Anyways, so here, Miranda obviously is like, she made her statement, and this is what's so scary. She says, this comment is actually terrifying. Why is Miranda's life in danger? I'm not doing anything to physically hurt Miranda. Who would be harming Miranda? Not one person speaking out for her is putting her in danger. So because Kelly won't publicly condemn me or others that are reporting on the 7M situation, I am being sued. Okay, so she acknowledged that she's being sued. Sorry, y'all, I didn't even get to that point. So there it proves it. So she was already served. So she knew that she had a preservation notice, that she wasn't to delete anything. Okay. And this is when Miranda said, stop feeding into that lunatic. What did she call? She called Katie a crazy lady. She called her crazy. She called her something, but it was done in a very tactful way. It really was way better than any of us would have done it. Hold on. Yep. Certified arsehole. All right. Thanks for that, Utopia. I saw Ninja Girl say Skynet nailed it. And I'm like, what did she nail? Yep, she nailed it. Yeah, no. Utopia, you and I are going to have a little quick 2-second conversation between us. Anybody else who's involved in that? Did you watch anything? I only watch one creator. I usually see you in Flava's chat. I always do the replay. I go to bed so super early. At least I get into my room early. I read. I try to get all this shit out of my head. I try to come in here and read, and so I shut everything off by about 8:30 my time. Last night I was in there kind of late, and because I was hanging on. I went, nope, shut it down. Do the replay. Did you watch any of that shit? It's bad, and it's mental health. It's mental health, and it's addiction, and it's scary. And it's the same thing with Katie. I'm not saying that addiction or mental health are the same as MGL, right? But there's something about this that's fascinating to me. And that's why this lawsuit is interesting to me. Number one, I enjoy reading the documents. Number two, just seeing how she couldn't shut the fuck up and seeing where she's at now. It's fascinating to me. I'm sorry. It's just fascinating. You only watched like 5 minutes of it. It was hard. Okay, enough about that. So this is when Miranda was basically like, stop talking to her, right? I don't even think she called Katie Joy out by name. I'll have to try to go back and find that. I know where I can find. I know I have it, and if I don't have it, I know who does. And I can ask them for it. Is this some sort of intimidation tactic being used to try to force the Wilkins' hands? Anyone can file lawsuits. It doesn't mean anything happens. What I do know is that I will never be silenced or intimidated to stop reporting. Here you are, over 4 years later, and look where you're at. And look, Katie Joy, you have stopped talking about them since February 9th, when whatever was said, and y'all, I'm 50-50 on getting the transcript for that hearing to hear what was said. There's a reason why I don't want to. I'm not going to show my hands. I'm not going to put everything out there as to why. I don't know if it's really that important. I'm sure we'll get it in the future. It's only $125, $150. It's not the money. But I really think something was said at that hearing. And so she has not spoken about it since February 9th. And this is when she's basically saying, I cannot believe, she's calling Miranda a victim. And here she is saying, what do you mean she's being threatened? How dare she? If you're an advocate for this quote unquote victim, somebody that you labeled as a victim, right? If you're an advocate for them, wouldn't her statement concern you? Wouldn't that be a concerning statement? No, instead, she turns it around, makes it all about herself. And then does this, and then puts all this fear into people, right? About what's happening. But then she immediately deleted it. And that was on the day that she was served, acknowledging she was being served. And she already knew that she had a preservation notice. So, is that going to turn around and hurt her? No, because if it hasn't yet, it probably won't. We'll see. Doubt it. But I'm just about a year late, 2 years late, recognizing that. But whatever. You know what? Better show up late to the party than never, right? Number 76.
And in regards to like this lawsuit, it's literally bogus. I mean, my legal team looked over it, and we know that there's nothing to this, and we're not worried one bit. They just want to silence us and stop the reporting. And it's going to continue to fester. And if some of you don't start taking on your platforms and using it to speak out, you're going to have the rest of us that are speaking out get buried in the narratives of negativity and of this, that we're all liars. I don't believe that she even has a clue what's really happening. And I don't think she accidentally blocked her parents. I just can't see that possible. If Robert is serious about his lawsuit against me, all of these accounts that we know are his don't help, because it just shows that he doesn't care. And then last night.
So regarding those accounts, Katie Joy's been asking 7M for a very long time, okay, for them to acknowledge that they had ownership of those Instagram accounts. There's like 3 of them, 2 or 3 of them. The Wilkins sister 2 was one of them. Without a Crystal Ball or Clue, I think, was one of them. It might just be those 2. They've never acknowledged it. It's never gotten to that point where they try to show proof, because Katie Joy keeps pushing for proof on those. But in my opinion, they never did anything close to what Katie Joy is doing. All they did was just defend against what Katie Joy was saying. That's all. I'm going to do a test real quick. Tell me if, okay, I'm going to hit on my microphone. I'm going to hit mute. I don't know if it mutes it from my microphone. This is how ridiculous I am. Tell me if you can hear me in just a second. Did y'all just hear anything I said about the sky being blue? Y'all, I'm hungry. Methy is obsessed with flavor, for real. She is, Unitopia. That was a little concerning. The part I got to, it became concerning for me. That's talking about Michelle. We'll leave that one separate, but yeah, I agree with you. Okay. Yeah, you couldn't hear me. All right. Because I was looking for food and I was like, man, I don't want to eat whenever I'm on this, but unfortunately I have nothing next to me. I'm starving. So you might start hearing my stomach growl here in a minute. The 2 sisters can say something happened to them, but that doesn't mean it happened to Miranda or James. Yes, Kimmy Joe. And you might be referring to the very beginning when we were talking about that. And yes, agreed, because that's their story. They were able to tell their story. Miranda and James or Robert didn't tell their side, didn't tell their story. That's what will forever eat me up.
He blatantly showed online that this lawsuit is a intimidation tactic.
Hey, Hell's Furby. How are you? You're welcome. Glad to see you. I know, Robert, that's what's so frustrating me, is it should have been about the sisters. But it didn't sell. It wouldn't sell. It wouldn't have made anything. And then you had the Wilkins boo-hooing, sobbing snot, all over the fucking internet. And I get it, okay? But that should have been private. That should never have been something that made it to where it did, because then all of a sudden everybody's hating Miranda for leaving her family. So here's another Instagram post that was deleted on the 6th, which is one day before she got the amended summons, again, after she acknowledged she was served. So this absolutely shows that she knew that she had a preservation letter. But my team, that's right, I have a damn team filled with big names. Oh, why did you delete this, Katie Joy? Oh, because you sound like a fucking idiot? Like, why? Oh, why would you delete this, of all things? My team, that's right. I have a damn team filled with big names. I'm not alone. Woo, I'm not doing this by myself. If you come at me, you are coming at our whole team. We're not the problem. You intimidating this woman is despicable, in my opinion. What woman? You woman? Is this woman you? Are you speaking in third person? Or are you talking about somebody else? I don't know. I mean, she might have been talking about somebody else. The brand deals aren't going to come back because you silence people. Brands and the industry have figured you out, I believe. So all the haters sticking up for that man, shame on you. All right, all of you in chat, shame on you. I hope none of you ever experience what so many have told me he's done to them. And I don't either. I don't wish anything that that they said verbally, that came out, that has been said publicly. I hope nothing happens like that, right? Okay. And in my opinion, it's not the worst I've ever heard. And I'm not downplaying anything they went through. But that has nothing to do with Miranda and James. We aren't going away. Our project is going to happen and everything is coming out, all of it. And then they included all these hashtags. Now, this one I don't have highlighted because this is in the actual amended complaint. Like, this is pulled. This is a screenshot from the actual amended complaint. Free Miranda Derrick, B-Dash, Concrete, Shekinah Church, Robert Shin, trafficking, forced labor. Number 78. Since I've been reporting on Shekinah, I don't know how a project on 7M is tied. In a statement put out by 7M, they stated that Shekinah and 7M are not affiliated. My project is about Shekinah Church. She thought she had a good one there. Also, communications with 7M, that's you. Don't worry. I don't destroy evidence. Bitch, we just saw 2 that you did. We just saw 2 that you deleted after you recognized that you were sued. I don't destroy evidence. Don't worry. Okay. And I find it very weird that this would be the information they are after, because I have only spoken about 7M as they relate to Shekinah. Now it makes me wonder if they included this one. I was like, why are they including this about Shekinah? Because Shekinah is not a party to the lawsuit. Now I'm recognizing maybe it's because she's saying she doesn't delete shit. I don't know. We'll see. Amber Stabig, one thing I do know, has a plan. It's very strategic and is way beyond. Again, she's playing chess while Katie Joy's attorneys over there are still playing baby checkers. Yes, Rabbit, they did say that their relationships were consensual. And here's another thing, Rabbit, which I don't think many people know, and we're going to talk about it. Priscilla Lee, and again, I'm not here to shame her, okay? I'm not here to shame her, and I understand how abuse works, okay? I understand that this could be part of a cycle of abuse. Please let me make this clear. I'm not shaming any victims. I'm not shaming any victims of abuse. But I will say this. Priscilla Lee left Robert and came back. Not once, but I believe twice. She freely walked out and then freely walked back in when she, and this is, don't quote me on this, I could be wrong, so don't take this as a fact, but what I was told is that because she needed resources, she needed money when she went out on her own. And I could be wrong about that, okay? So don't quote that. But I do know that she did leave freely, came back freely, left again freely, okay? How many times she did that? Unknown to me, but I know, I want to say at least twice, but we know once, okay? And then she sent him the demand letter demanding $35 million. Is that what it was? 30 million, 25 from Robert Shin, 5 from his wife, or 30 from Robert Shin and 5 from his wife, regardless, $30 million. And instead he turned around and he sued her. And that is why there's the lawsuit in LA. I don't dislike Robert. I don't like Robert, but I just don't see him as the worst villain out there compared to so many men in power. Absolutely, Rabbit. And again, you know, I'll just agree with that. I'll just speak to that. I mean, there's so many things that we don't know, sure. But what I did hear, I'm not that convinced. Let me just put it that way. And then after a federal investigation happened and nothing has happened, I'm just hoping that one day they all put their side out. And I'm talking about Miranda and James and Robert on that one. You know, Priscilla and Melanie have had, and she goes by Alicia, I believe, in the docuseries. She goes by Alicia and Priscilla. She changed her name to Priscilla or something. Anyway, so again, I'm not shaming them, but that was their story. That's their story to tell. But to say and to put all the fear into people that if you leave, you get beaten up is not true, because she left on more than one occasion. Again, I understand how abuse works. I absolutely understand how abuse works. And so I'm not saying that that's not a typical situation where someone's going to leave an abuser and come back. Am I going to say it was abuse? No. Am I going to say it wasn't abuse? No. I can't speak on that. Thank you so much, Joby. KJ is a bigger villain and the parents. And I absolutely cannot say that I disagree.
Thank you for the love and the money while we keep covering this dummy. It keeps this little channel growing so we can keep this crazy going. From the bottom of our hearts, we love you so dang much.
Thank you, Jill. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. All right, number 79. Again, I don't want to hang up on that topic because again, I don't want to do what Katie Joy is doing and victim shame, right? I just, because that's their story. But let's focus on the fact that what's Miranda's story? What's James's story? Other than the narrative that Katie Joy has created and disseminated. That's my point. That's what needs to be known. Now the smear account is gone, removed. Deleting evidence during a lawsuit. Oh no, Katie Joy, we just saw 2 that you deleted your damn self. I have archived posts, but I don't delete pages. Okay, so maybe she archived those. 7M put it in there as deleted. So let's see, is it archived? Is it deleted? That's a little suspicious in my opinion. What are they hiding? I don't know, Katie Joy, what are you hiding? What are you hiding? Thank you so much, Skynet. Just gifted 1 Southern Mutt membership. If you received that membership, please tell her thank you. I'll be able to see in just a second who it was.
Thank you so much, my mutton friend. Just remember that I would not be here if it weren't for y'all. And for that, I love you so dang much.
Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Hills Furby received a gifted membership. Welcome to the Mutton's cousin. Is that what we're called now? And that's all because of the whole MGL thing. Thank you for that. Appreciate you. All right. What are they hiding? Yeah. What are you hiding, Katie Joy? What are you hiding? And look, people are going to hide shit. Okay. It's the hypocrisy. It's the hypocrisy. Wait, hold on. I'm just going to let this play out. All right. Number 80. This is on July 1st of 2022. So this is after she was sued. Okay. So and this was an Instagram story. So it was probably in her story. So it's not necessarily that it was deleted. It's just that it doesn't stay. Katie Joy said there that she archives stuff. So, that might be archived, whatever. It is what it is, right? So I can't say much, but I've shared that I'm working on a project that will take this to a way bigger audience, and that remains true. When we can share more, whoops, what did I just do? When we can share more, we will. But for now, it's been a team effort behind the scenes that I'm working on weekly with a whole team. In order to tell the story thoroughly, we are saving aspects of the story for the project, which also kind of says, in a roundabout way, that you're going to delay discovery, which she did. She can say it was 7M all day long, and I can say it was Katie Joy all day long. We both have the right to say what we want to say, right? That's my opinion. That's my belief. Yeah, right. Hypocrisy. And there's Katie's mug. Yeah, when you're going to make, see, that's the thing. That's what, you know what? Sunshine and Rain, and I know you know this from being in other communities. When you're going to make it your life's work to air everyone's secrets, you better not have any. And we see this shit on the daily in these other communities. These assholes start going real life on all these people, pulling up all kinds of ridiculous stuff, right? And then what? turns out that they're worse, that they have a longer criminal record or whatever it is they're trying to out on somebody. We know how this shit works. If you've got any skeletons in your closet, don't be shaking that door, because somebody's going to come and they're going to expose you. And I think that for Katie Joy, there's a reason why she hasn't exposed certain people that talk about her, because there's nothing on them. And the ones that we've seen her go after, she showed their criminal record. I'll just leave it at that. And Katie Joy knows that what's in her past has all been aired. As far as, having a DUI and all that good stuff. No way, Unitopia. You got detention. Furby. Oh my gosh. I forgot about those. And then yours screamed boring. I remember whenever the Furbies came out, right? And it was obviously a hot thing for that Christmas, and you know how that shit goes. And there's always fights, and there's always like people kicking each other's ass in lines at Walmart, Kmart, all the things. My mom was like, I was so glad you were kind of a tomboy and you never wanted any of the girly shit. Like whenever, like those of you from the 80s that remember the whole Cabbage Patch ordeal, like legit ass whoopings in Kmart and people were arrested and it was all over the place. My mom was like, thank God you did not want a Cabbage Patch Kid. That's hilarious. 81. Tomorrow, so she made this post. Tomorrow, one of my lawsuits will be dismissed with prejudice as a plaintiff hasn't filed this case in court. They have made no request for discovery, and we haven't heard from their lawyer in months. I think she's talking about Steve McRae here. If they claim they received any statements or docs from me, they are lying. She says updates on legal. She might have been talking about Robert Shin here. No, because it was filed in court. Steve McRae filed against her, but it was pocket served. So it was never filed in court. She was just pocket served. Which I like the idea of pocket service, but not for shit like this when I want to be nosy and know what the hell's going on. Right? So there's no telling how many other times Katie Joy has been pocket served. So pocket service, like in Minnesota, they can sue you. They can send it to you without filing it with the court. And you can try to work it out amongst yourselves, like, between attorneys or whatnot, without it being filed in court. So there's no record of it. And so as we all remember,
it has not been filed in court. If you are a YouTuber and you are talking about this case, you did not get it from me. You got it from the cult.
As we remember that, Katie Joy was saying that it was pocket served, that it wasn't filed in court, and that the people that were putting it out were, how do they get it? They got it from the cult. They got it from the cult. No, it was served. It was filed. It was filed in court. You look like a total dumbass on that one. So I'm wondering how many times she got pocket served, but I'll never know. I want to be nosy in these things, but it's her. But it's not public information. So this is what was with it. 3 frivolous lawsuits filed against me are slowly coming to a close. One case is being dismissed tomorrow. Dismissed tomorrow. That was obviously Steve McRae. One case missed a huge deadline in court and failed to serve notice to us until a week after the deadline. They have done nothing to prosecute their case in the 4 months since they filed. That's what she's talking about, Robert Shin. This would have been in August because that's when she filed a motion to compel, saying they're not providing anything. And she said, but there's a whole point behind that. We've talked about that several times. 7M was waiting to get approval from the court for a protection order on discovery. So they didn't provide certain discovery. And so Katie Joy is like, they missed a huge deadline. So it's going to be dismissed. Well, here we are 4 years later. How did that work out for you, KJ? Oh, yeah, it hasn't. One case resulted in a settlement, talking about Todd Chrisley, with 2 of the parties. We are waiting for the other party to either voluntarily dismiss their case or we will seek a dismissal or summary judgment. They have also provided no discovery and done nothing to prosecute this case in the 9 months since they filed against me. Hold on a second. One case resulted in a settlement with 2 of the parties. We are waiting for the other party. Or she has to be talking about Todd Chrisley there because that was in the, like, Todd Chrisley's case was in active litigation when she was sued by Robert Shin. The Tati lawsuit had already been settled. Remember, she sued her in Washington, was dismissed for jurisdiction. She turned around and sued her in Minnesota, and they came to a settlement there. Katie turned around and sued her back, and then, but this, I think she's talking about talking about Todd Chrisley. Frivolous lawsuit should actually be illegal, but I'm grateful for my team. Don't waste the court's time to try to intimidate someone. It's just gross, with a barfy face emoji. Number 82. This is, so she's showing the letter that her attorneys sent. No, because Dudley Smith, that was Dudley Smith, that was who Amber Stavig was with before Amber Stavig started her own firm. But she says 7M, Shin and 7M missed discovery deadline. And this is, obviously in the amended complaint, Jerry's going to see that Katie Joy is saying, like, she's showing information. She's saying she won. She's giving out false information about her lawsuit. Train your Furby to say you got it from the court. Oh, the Colt. Yeah, got it from the Colt. I was wondering about her number 19 and her answers that she currently has one other case before the court. Must be a pocket service as I cannot find another open case. Yeah, so the only ones that have shown, so when Stephen McCrae sued her, that was pocket served. It was never filed in court. Tati's was filed in Minnesota. That was settled. Then Todd Chrisley sued her. That was eventually settled, but that was active litigation whenever 7M sued her in April of 2022. Todd Chrisley is going to do something. I feel him in my bones. She says, everyone is talking about, okay, so this was a Twitter. Let me go back. Looks like this was a Twitter post that was deleted, and I'm never, yeah, was that what that said? Twitter post that was deleted. 7M captured it. I see everyone was talking about my lawsuit with 7M. 7M has not complied with our discovery request. We have filed a motion to compel discovery. In an effort to get out of complying with our discovery demands, they are now trying to claim we missed deadlines when we did not. They missed a deadline for discovery and have been avoiding all attempts to send over legally required discovery to us. In an attempt to avoid discovery demands, they are now seeking default judgment. We missed no deadlines. So this obviously, well, I can see it's 2022. I believe that was November 2022. I don't want to go back again and look, but we missed no deadline period. This is a desperate and amateur move. Oh, amateur. Who's the amateurs? In an attempt to not legally comply with discovery requests in the case. They have not been granted an extension for deadlines, an injunction, nor sent any discovery to us despite missing the deadline a month ago. Without discovery from my company, they know they cannot litigate this case. Oh, what is it? June 23rd of 2026? And it's still in active litigation. In fact, it's headed to trial. Oh, yikes, Katie Joy. They have not been granted an extension for deadlines, an injunction, or sent any discovery to us despite missing the deadlines a month ago. Without discovery from my company, they know they cannot litigate this case. They have been trying every possible method to not comply with discovery demands. We requested they file a motion to dismiss due to their own failure to comply. We have engaged with them the entire time. Last week, a report was released by The Sun indicating an ongoing IRS investigation against Robert Shin and his church. The Sun reported the investigation was looking into income tax evasion. How much involvement did you have in that, Katie Joy? That's my question. It's just a question. Just a question that I'd like to ask. What was your involvement into this active investigation from the IRS against Robert Shin? The Sun reported the investigation was, can't see that right this second. Was looking into some tax evasion. Our discovery is seeking his tax records as a part of the litigation. Ha! Yeah, they were also seeking yours, Katie Joy, and 4 years later, you still haven't provided it. How about them apples? You had a bird that Wolf whistled and said, "Hello, baby," and so did the Furby. Oh, that's cute. Yeah, who called the Sun? What, you know what I want to know? Any of you savvy people that give a shit? Okay, here's number 84. Any of you savvy people that have an interest in looking this up? And I'm sure it'd be pretty easy to find. When is the last time, besides News Nation, that any of those news outlets or publications or whatever it may be sourced Katie Joy? When is the last time that she's been sourced? I would love to know. I got to try to figure that out. If anybody wants to help me do that, let me know. Because she listed them. We saw those listed, the ones that she's been sourced by. When's the last time she was sourced by them? And if she hasn't been sourced by them, what's the reason? Because they realize that she's not credible? Because I'm curious now, because that could be helpful in this case too. If she's not being sourced anymore, she's not being cited for things, why? If they're not citing her anymore, why? News Nation did it, we know, in July and then again in August of 2025. But prior to that, when's the last time the Sun, the Daily Mail, who are the other ones that she's had beef with? When's the last time they've cited her? Does anybody know? It's been a really long time. Yeah, so like with the Blake Lively lawsuit, I really want to know, has anybody cited her? Have any of these, who has cited her besides other content creators or Reddits? You know what I mean? What legit publications have cited anything from Katie Joy since this lawsuit started in 2022? I would love to know how many cited her in 23, 24, 25. I just want to know. Conspirituality podcast sorted her not too long ago. That's in regard to Blake Lively, I'm assuming, Carolyn. TMZ. I kind of want to get a list and just see. Just for my own curiosity. Not like I'm going to do anything with it. I'm just curious. I'm just curious if people are starting to recognize that she's not credible. See what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying about it. That's not that I want to be like this Inspector Gadget type shit, like, and be like, "Ooh, I got you on one." No, I'm just curious. I'm curious if people are starting to realize that she's not, or if people are starting to think that she's not credible, and so they're not sourcing her anymore. That's all. You know what, Rabbit? I think Netflix kind of regretted working with Katie Joy immediately. You can't remember the episode. It wasn't about Lively, though. Oh, that's interesting. Muckrack is one. Thank you, Skynet. TMZ. Thank you for that. Daily Mail has. Okay, thank you. I mean, again, it's not that I'm saying that I'm right. I'm curious to see if there's a lack in it, and there might not be. They might keep sourcing her. Okay, I'm just curious if it's slowing down because people are starting to see things, and they might not, which is fine too. I'm just curious because it might not be the case. People might still might be sourcing her because they believe everything she says, which is a problem in itself, in my opinion. You wish 7M would sue Netflix. I don't think they would ever sue Netflix. I think that's just way too far out of the equation. But I think there will be something to counter the Netflix. I'm hoping that there'll be something that would counter the Netflix docuseries, like have another, let's just say, I'm just throwing this out of my ass. This has nothing, like HBO, right? For them to come in and tell their side of the story, or some other, big producer that would come in and do a documentary on what happened to them because of the Netflix docuseries. See what I'm saying? Like, I don't see a lawsuit ever happening. Oh, about the Duggars. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. That's fine. Unitopia, Skynet, if you're willing to do that, I'll love you forever. If it's just something, I'm just curious. Again, it's not that I'm saying, oh, look, I'm just curious if it's gone down over the years. If fewer and fewer are using her as a source, or if it might have actually amped up. I'm just curious. My business is a world of moving through reporting the story, and knowing the truth could get me sued. Either way, I don't fret about the legal side. I have lawyers for that. Many people are asking me about 7M lawsuit. I want to be clear. I only have one lawsuit. I have never in my career been held liable for defaming anyone. I have never had a single situation go to trial. Todd Chrisley, if I could whistle, I'd whistle right now. Todd Chrisley, are you hearing this? She's never been held liable for defaming anyone. Do you want to step back in? Because at this time, she's right. That's settled. She wasn't held liable. She settled with Toddy Westbrook. That she wasn't held liable. The thing with Stephen Craig, that didn't happen. So let's change this. But she's never had a single situation go to trial. Well, guess what? Your crystal ball should have told you not to add that sentence, because your ass is going to trial. As of right now, it's projected to go to trial. I do not expect this to go to trial either. 7M is creating a huge public spectacle. No, they're fucking not. They did not make a huge spectacle trying to claim that you haven't responded to the lawsuit, which is false. BS. You were making a huge spectacle. You even deleted some of those spectacles. Then they came back to defend themselves. You asshole. The facts are Robert Shin and the rest failed to serve my company with discovery on August 5th. Additionally, they have withheld discovery that was due to us in early September in violation of the court order. And here we are in 2026, a month ago, the judge said in an order that you have not provided all of your discovery either, particularly your tax records. We have responded, filed an answer, and will be filing a motion to compel. Yeah, and so did 7M. Both filed motions to compel, and we have that order. And that order was in January of 2024, I believe, where it said, where it granted all of 7M's motion to compel and denied in part and granted in part Katie Joy's motion to compel. And it wasn't all that great for her. And they also stated that this court does not deem Katie Joy Paulson of Without a Crystal Ball a journalist. So there's that. So they will be filing a motion about what she did, and she'll be seeking sanctions and attorney's fees for their abuse of the legal system, which she has, and it's been denied. I won't play when it comes to my business. If Robert wants to keep trying to play chess to avoid discovery, I'll keep playing. Bitch, you're playing checkers. Baby checkers at that. Preschool. Okay? But his best bet is to withdraw his lawsuit and move on. See how funny this shit is now, y'all? It's hilarious to me. P.S. Robert Shin wants to get an injunction to stop me from speaking about him. But he or his people ran to YouTube. Oh, shit. Let me go back. Hold on. P.S. Robert Shin wants to get an injunction to stop me from speaking about him. But he or his people ran to YouTubers this week to try to smear me. So please tell the judge that you want from me what you cannot do yourself. This is October 5th of 2022. This, if she's able to, which it won't happen, I don't think, but it could. Never say never. If she's able to really argue and the judge agrees with the statute of limitations and that this is time barred, this would be one of those that would be time barred. That would fall within that, because it's after the time that she was sued and before the time that the statute of limitations would have kicked in February 2024. Which to me, in February, after February 2024 is when Katie Joy really, really said some shit. So if they mark all this shit down, even if they take it all away and they only play they only show what she said, you know, in 2024 and on, she's just as screwed, in my opinion. Because docuseries came out in summer of 2024. She amped it up then. But in October of 2022, that's when the other lawsuit occurred in LA. And then come the spring is when the cross complainants were added. Yeah, and it's funny, Goose. Now she's bragging about she's never been held liable for defamation. 85. So the arrow, whenever I include an arrow, that means that part of the post is used in the that this statement is in the docuseries. This is how I know I've been on too long. 2.5 hours. Holy shit. Yep. See, that's what I do. My brain starts to fry. We're going to end it probably after this one. We'll get to 85 today. What kind of man stays at a church where women are being sexually abused and his wife being groomed by a pastor? So she's talking about James Derrick here. A weak little boy. No man that gives a shit about his wife would ever be okay with their wife being assaulted or groomed. Do better. This pisses me off so much. This is rage bait. She is getting everybody in an uproar. She's saying that Miranda is being raped basically by Robert Shin, that, you know, she's making it sound like her husband, James Derrick, is sitting in the corner with a fucking bucket of popcorn watching this go down, and that he's a weak little boy because she is being sexually abused and groomed by Robert Shin. Close your ears. Hey, Irish. Close your ears, because I'm about to say it again. If there's any little ears in the room, mute me, because this is about to be it. Again, Katie Joy, fuck you. Fuck you. You want for people to not see what has happened to Miranda and James Derrick? This is it right here. But what people see here is Katie's narrative, and they ran with this narrative instead of seeing the truth of how. Can you imagine? Can you imagine if you or your husband or you or your wife were accused of this and it's disseminated to hundreds of thousands of people and it's not true? We're at statement 85. This one gets me riled up and they only get worse. I swear I don't really, I don't always, I cuss. I try not to do it on here. Sometimes, though. You don't remember this, Rabbit? There's more. There was a couple. Maybe we'll see what the next one is after this, because there are a couple around this time that are really bad. And when we get to the bottom of it, to the bottom, let's see what the date is. Then I'll be able to tell what happened at this time. December 1st of 2022. Is that what it says? How can she do this over and over again? Rabbit, I don't know. See what I mean? This is way past freedom of speech. And then you're going to have these assholes, and you know this, Rabbit, I'm sure. I'm guessing. That are going to say, oh, you're just a cult apologist. Why do you support Robert Shin? And listen, when I get those statements, if you ask me, like genuinely ask, like, wait, are you supporting Robert Shin? I'll explain my stance to you. Okay? I'm not supporting a cult. I've never stated whether I'm a supporter or not supporter of Robert Shin. Doesn't matter. Because this shit's wrong. This is way beyond freedom of speech. This lawsuit is still in the court of law and progressing the way that it is for a reason. For a reason, y'all. And it's only gotten worse for Katie Joy, because this shit now, this wasn't included in the original. See what I'm saying here? This was not included in the original complaint. This might not have ever gone to the jury for the jury to see this and hear this and see Miranda sitting up on the stage, probably shaking, hearing something so vile. Think of how religious these two are, how much they believe in their faith. They would never want something like this to be spoken about them. How sick is this? What journalist, what effing journalist would say this? You piece of shit, garbage human being. I said what I said. That's my opinion. That's how I feel about you. That's who you fucking are. I'm spitting mad. Spitting mad. So, as you can see, this is why, since this has been going on for so long, it doesn't bother me. Because now the judge, the jury, if this goes to trial, I mean, there's still a chance that this might not go to trial. 99.9% is my belief that it will. Okay, that 0.01% might not. That's just my opinion. And she says, "Okay, y'all, this is gonna." Is it too early to have a drink? I don't even drink anymore. Okay, it's 12:30. Is it too early for me to have a shot? I'm just kidding. Oh God, that made my stomach turn. I need lunch first. Anyways, what is highlighted here is what they said. The little boys, weak little boys, that's not included in them in a complaint. Your fake smiles on Instagram don't fool me one bit. You are complicit to the abuse, and turning a blind eye makes you just as guilty. When everything blows up, don't cry about your career being ruined. You did it to yourselves. How horrible is that? Your fake smiles on Instagram don't fool me one bit. So everything you're doing is fake. Everything you're doing is, you're a liar. You're a victim, but you're a liar. We need to protect you. Don't worry. Don't worry, Miranda Derrick. Katie Joy is out to save you. Okay? Because you're a victim. But here she says you're a liar. And that James is culpable and everything that's going to happen to you. All of this sex abuse, all of this trafficking, grooming, this is at James's hands. He has blood on his hands. And then she says, your careers are going to be ruined because of you. And don't cry about it when they are. If this does not make you see red, then hopefully it doesn't. Hopefully it doesn't make y'all as mad as it just made me. I feel so bad for Miranda and James Derrick. I cannot even tell you. And it's not my place, right? I don't know them. And I don't want to be that weirdo like, oh, but y'all, people need to see the truth. And it needs to start now. And more people with a bigger audience that has a much larger reach than my tiny ass channel, news outlets in Minnesota during this trial, this shit needs to be seen. When this goes to trial, people need to talk about it. People need to see what Miranda and James have been through, and Robert Shin, and the people that were in the house when that house was raided. If, in fact, they're innocent. Okay? What I can attest to, well, I can't attest to anything. What I can speak on just from watching everything is what Miranda and James went through. And for you to say, don't cry because your career being ruined, you did it yourself. Evil. Evil. Okay. I'm going to calm down. Hey, Gravy. I can't even deal with KJ. The only reason I'm doing it now is because you're covering his other mutton. You make a little. Okay, and look, and I appreciate you saying that, Donna. Look, I don't want to talk about her. I don't want. I've even said people can attest to this, that I talk to behind the scenes, which they never would, because there's no point to bring that out. But point is, she makes me crazy. Clearly, look what that just did to me. It makes me so angry. This face right here, you ugly bitch. It's a face only a mama can love. And oh, and you have no contact with your family, so I guess your mom can't even love that bitchy face. You know, she's sitting here going after Miranda about not having any contact with her family when Katie has no contact with her family. Let's just let that sink in. Ugly bitch. Proud of you, but I recently started drinking. It coincided with having a teenager. Oh, it is. Yeah, what time is it there? Where you're at in Africa? But so I do this because honestly, and I don't want to sound like that weirdo, but in a way for Miranda and James, for people to see what the truth really is, right? And to lay it all out for people to see what it really is. But also because content creators need to be held accountable for shit. Period. And people need to know that another case like this is about to go through a court system in a trial. This is classically how she advocates for victims. Doesn't that just gingerly? I know. It's rage bait. It's her form of rage bait. It's her form of getting people so concerned and so worked up at a false narrative. Always more makeup on one eye. Oh, that's because of, that's because of Robert Shin and everybody, right? That she got a staph infection because because Robert Shin makes her not clean herself or whatever. And then she spreads it all over her fucking face. And then her eyebrow gets all jacked up. And then it's everybody else's fault. And she said that she didn't show herself because of that. But then she comes back and says she didn't show her face because she's scared for her safety in her life. But when Miranda's scared for her safety in her life, Katie Joy mocks her. Oh, you were incredibly lucky, Irish, if your kids were good as teenagers. My parents, half the shit they don't even know. 3/4 of the crap, I guarantee they don't even know. If they did, I'm not gonna tell them now because they probably have heart failure, and I've straightened up since then. But but we were in the 80s. We did a lot of wild shit, didn't we? All right, so this is number 86. Let's see if she speaks here. Good news. Oh yeah, this one, y'all. So this was okay. Should we just leave this for next time? Yeah, exactly, Irish. And then she says that she's not scared of anyone. Gravy says, I want this trial to be televised. I don't want to give my hand away. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't be fighting. So I wouldn't be keep doing the things that I'm doing if I didn't think there was a chance of all of this being known later on. I'll leave it at that. So this right here is when those motions came back at the very, very, very beginning of this live, ruling 2.5 hours ago. We said that 7M filed 4 motions in August of 2023. One was a motion for injunctive relief, right? We've gone over this so many times on this channel, saying 7M asking the courts to have Katie Joy not speak about them. And if the courts didn't find that was suitable, then to at least make Katie Joy make a disclaimer saying that she's in active litigation with 7M and so-and-so plaintiffs. But it was denied. And this is where Katie Joy goes on and says, I've won. The court deemed me a journalist. We'll start that one for next time. This is a good one this was a good place to start next time. Donna, yes. And that is why anything that I get from this channel, memberships, super chats, super thanks, also just watching the videos, liking the videos, sharing the videos, leaving comments, all of those things help with this channel. Any revenue that comes into this channel after I pay what keeps, all of my editors and stuff that cost money, it's all being set aside for that purpose, Donna. So there's that. Yeah, I mean, it would be great for it to be streamed by LawTube. It needs to. But look, right now, nobody's going to have an interest in this because these things tend to dwindle. These things tend to, just because it's projected to go to trial and we're at where we're at. I mean, it's not that interesting right now for that. There's no need for that argument. But this shit goes to trial. I think some of these big channels will. And that is why I'm going to try to keep up with the momentum until then. Then if it's not where you can watch it through the trial, you'll still know what happens every day at trial. I'm making that promise to you. That's why that's not me begging for money. I'm just saying that's what is, hopefully, that gives us plenty of time. Right. And then what doesn't go to the trial, well, I'll decide where we want to donate it to, certain victims of whatever. Right. I'm not in this for personal gain. It goes towards what, because it costs money to run the channel, right? It just does. And so that's why I never bitch about how people get money or where they get money from. It's none of my business. So if people want to gift other people and they're like, I can't believe they're giving that person money, I don't give a shit. It doesn't bother me at all. It just doesn't. It's none of my business. I'm not in it for the money. But what I make it on this channel, Donna. See, that's not what I was trying to do, Donna. That's not what I was trying to do. I appreciate you so much. But I'm telling you, and if anybody, you don't have to know me or to know what my goal is to believe. I mean, you don't have to believe me because you don't know me, but
I am all about ruining your life and laughing at your frivolous lawsuit you think you can file against me. But my legal team is the best dream team around, so good luck with that. But if you say anything about me publicly, I will scream victim faster than I will slam this bottle of cheap Spanish red. Wait, I drank my last bottle for breakfast.
And that's AI. I have to state that's AI, but it's funny as hell in my opinion. Thank you, Donna. Yeah, and that's, I'm not trying to. That's not what I was trying to do, but I know you, Donna, and I know that you're around, and I know your support for this channel, and I know your support for this cause, and I appreciate it. And we have plenty of time till this is going to go to trial. And every time the 21st comes around, that's when YouTube pays out. It's going aside for that purpose. Okay. I keep my word on things. I know people don't know me, and I don't expect you to believe me. That's fine. You'll see. You need her diaper sticking out. I know it came from the heart. I absolutely know it does. And Donna, I appreciate you so much. Yeah, I appreciate you. I really do. I didn't mean for you to have to do that. I didn't, you know what I mean? So I think now we'll stop at 86. So I did the video 1 through 50. The next one I'm going to put out is probably 50 to 100. It depends on where the 100 falls. Like the next video I want to do, I'll probably do up until like 2024 or something. I don't know. I got to figure it out to where it makes sense, where it rolls. Because once we get to a certain point, you could see how that last one just infuriated me. And then we've got this one where she's saying, I'm a journalist. I can say whatever I want. She also, and you're going to start to see as we go through these and also in the videos that I make, where Katie Joy says they can't silence me. The court has said, you cannot silence me. The court has said I do not have to give up my sources. Katie Joy says that out of her own mouth. And then she just continues to say horrible things. And it's going to put her in a very, very bad place. Thank you, Sunshine and Rain. That same thing, I don't care what people do with their money they get on their social media, right? But I'm not going to spend my husband's hard-earned money to go to Minnesota. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm going to talk about it and the channel brings in revenue, that's where it's going. And I know I don't own an explanation. I know nobody, some people don't give a shit. Some people can talk, oh my God, Southern Mountains over there. Dry begging, nah, no. And if you think I am, I don't care. I don't care. Go with it. Go with what you want. I don't give a shit. I really don't. It is what it is. So, hey, Lily Pad, how are you doing? We're just about to end it up here. I've been on 2 hours and 45 minutes. Y'all, it goes by so fast with y'all. It goes by so fast. That's why I like going live and doing these things, because it helps so much whenever I have to cover her. Like when I did that video yesterday, it was pretty easy because I already had it all put together. I think I've got, once I get to like 120 out of the 212 statements, there's still a lot of the audio or the video that I have to go get and put into the editor. So I still have I still have time and work that I have to do to get all 212 statements still. I think I've gotten all the posts, so I have all the text. What I don't have is all, like, I need to go into like whatever video it is, whatever live stream it is, and go from that timestamp on. So when I do that, it's tough on my mental. I'm not gonna lie, she infuriates me. It makes me angry. She's just I just think she's she's one of the most disgusting people. She gets pleasure out of other people's pain, and I cannot stand people like that. I just can't. And again, all my opinions. These are all my opinions. Yeah, exactly. Irish people always have. Well, I can't expect people to turn around and not say something back about me. I mean, come on, right? Thank you so much for sending these gifts. It's weird because I see, thank you, Bo Roundtree. It's wild because I don't see it on my end. Like it comes up, and then it disappears. I still don't understand. So those of you that have sent these jewels or these gifts, I guess what is it kind of, is it like TikTok in a way? I don't know how it works. So I appreciate you. I'm gonna have to look into it more. I appreciate you. Thank you. Next time I'm on somebody's live stream, I'll see sometimes where it'll say that I have so much to, like I have so many jewels or whatever to use. And then I think you buy into them or something. I don't know. I don't know how it works, but I appreciate you so much. I appreciate, again, just being here, liking the stream. I'm about to end it here. So if you have not liked this, please do it on your way out. Leaving a comment on any of my videos, and even after the fact, leaving a comment helps. It helps with the channel. And that means just as much to me as anything else. It all means so much to me. We're going to get there, y'all. And I'm telling you, I'm keeping my word to you. If this goes to trial, you'll know what's happening. You'll get a daily recap. You don't know how it works either. But see, Bo Roundtree, but you gave it to me, didn't you? You were generous to send to me. Was that you that sent one also? I don't know. Look at me. Yeah, you did. It's thundering there. It's been hot. It's I think the other day and yesterday, it's been like 100, like 98 or whatever, but the feels like is like 129, 128. Send another gift. Thank you, Bo Roundtree. A clapping seal. Oh my God, how cute are those? I'm wondering, it might be like TikTok where you, oh, Bean, you're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. I'm wondering if it's like TikTok where you pay money for things like that, and then they kind of distribute them a certain way. I wonder if you can trade them. I don't know. But again, it helps. That probably helps with the channel a lot too. Oh, you're in Southwest Florida. Oh, but this time of year in the afternoon, because what is it? It's almost 3 o'clock there. Every afternoon around this time in the summer, you get a storm, don't you? I'll be down your way in July. A goat trophy? How did I miss a goat trophy? I didn't see it. I was too busy doing something else. I see that you sent it. What? A goat trophy? How cute. Speaking of, I'm going to go check on my goats. Said I had 800. First was 10. Second was 250. No idea how I got 800. I think, like, okay, so I saw when I was in someone's chat, and it's not somebody's chat that I want to comment in. I was watching from the bushes, and it said that I had that I guess they give everybody so many jewels, and then you can distribute them, but then you must buy more as you go. You know, we're near Florida. What did I just miss? Stay hydrated for 550 joules. Like, I see, and like I didn't see it come across the screen, and I'm actually watching my YouTube live. So I'm watching my live stream. I see. Are y'all seeing those come across the screen? A party hat. Can you imagine what Amber will do to her on the stand when she cross-examines her on each of the incidents of defamation? Oh, it's going to be amazing. If you remember how much Katie exploded when it came to her questioning her during her deposition, do y'all remember that? It won't let you like the video? Oh. Being for me, it just showed me that I had jewels to give. So I don't know. I have no idea why it gives you some or doesn't. I don't know, but I think maybe we'll figure it out. They're fun. And the ones, they give them to you, so they're free to send. I don't know, but I guess eventually you buy more. You just refurbish. You replenish them. But Katie Joy was so pissed off about how she was questioned during deposition. If she couldn't control her anger in that, I can't imagine what it's going to be like with her on the stand. Another gift. Okay, y'all see them. What did you send? A little poopy thing? Why is it a happy poop? I see the goat trophy when I click up here. So because of all that, we have to do this.
Thank you for the love and the money. While we keep covering this dummy, it keeps this little channel growing, so we can keep this crazy going. From the bottom of our hearts, we love you so dang much.
You sent a happy poop just for KJ. Do they have a sad poop? Just kidding. She's going to be humiliated. You know, Goose, is humiliation a possibility for someone like Katie Joy? I think for Katie Joy, I think she does have the capability of being humiliated. KJ's eyebrow blindness. You finally made it for live, and I'm just about to end. It's been 2 hours and 51 minutes. What just came across the thing? Oh, thank y'all. I see the little smiley faces coming up too. We're learning together. I'm glad you joined. It's a long one, y'all. All right, I'm going to get off of here. My dogs have been so good today. Because it's almost, am I doing the math right? Yeah, it's been almost 3 hours. So we went over her answer to the amended complaint, compared it to the original, just kind of said what she had to say. And then we started going back over some of the statements, the statements in the amended complaint, the 212 are at number 86. That's where we're going to start next time. I've also set out videos if so that way you don't have my distractions, talking to the chat, whatever it may be, doing my ramblings. You could just go through and watch them by yourself. That video was put out yesterday. It was number 1 through 50. I'll probably put 50 through 100 out soon. Once we get to 100 on here live, then I'll put 50 to 100 out. I don't know when I'll go live again. Looks like I'll be getting my buddy again next week, on Monday or Tuesday. So I'll go live again another day this week. Maybe tomorrow, maybe Thursday. Just look if you aren't getting notifications, go back, unsub, resub, and reset your notifications. Hey Laura, you're the replay crew. Thank you. So I got to run too, Goose. Thank you guys for hanging out. Those of you that stuck around for these 3 hours, I appreciate you. I appreciate all of you that came in. I appreciate all of you that are the replay crew. A lot of the live streams from my favorite creators I have to watch on replay. So I appreciate each and every single one of you. Thank you again for all the gifts, all of the super chats, the gifted memberships. I appreciate you all. It is hot as hell here, but I'm still going to go walk 3 miles in this bullshit. I'm going to go for 4. I made 3 yesterday. Let's see. If y'all don't hear back from me, it was good. It was good knowing you. It means the heat took me out. I'm just kidding. I stay hydrated. I might wait till it gets closer till whenever my husband's going to be home in case I drop out on the pasture. He'll find me. All right. I, again, appreciate each and every single one of you. Stay cool. Stay dry for those of you getting any storms. And I'll go live again one day this week. I got to look and see what my schedule kind of consists of, and I'll put a notice out. Have a great day, y'all. Bye, everyone.
It don't take a crystal ball to know how some stories end. When someone keeps saying opinions like facts, the courts start listening. Southern mutton don't predict nothing, we just watch and write it down. Don't need a crystal ball to see it coming back around. When you state it like a fact and never check it first. Southern mutton watch it close from the courthouse ground. True, stay patient while the paper getting worse. Same routine, new headline phone. Same bold claims that the record don't want. She speak real loud, no maybe, no seems. Turn opinions into facts like the courtroom clean. I ain't wishing nothing, I just seen the signs. When the words outrun proof, it's a matter of time. History repeat when you don't learn yet. Courts don't care what you meant, just what you said. When confidence louder than evidence be, that's when patterns start explaining things to me. Don't need a crystal ball to see it coming back around. When you speak like a verdict before the truth's found. Southern mutton in the case, boots firm on the tile. We don't chase drama, we just watch the file, yeah. Country rap calm, I don't glow to grin. I just read the docket when it rolled back in. She called it truth, call it just how it is. But courts draw lines where the talking ends. I ain't psychic, I'm observing. Facts don't bend cause a voice is urgent. From testimony tone to the written page. Same outcome when the pattern don't change. Lies like speed, truth like distance. One burns fast, one keeps existing on. Lies like speed, truth like distance. One burns fast, one keeps existing. Don't need a crystal ball, don't need belief. When the law still runs on proof and receipts. Southern mutton watching through the courtroom glass. Pointing out lies as they saying it's facts. This ain't prophecy. This ain't hate. Just history watching itself repeat. When words get reckless, the courts get busy. And the truth always shows up right on time.